Mic was muted. Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to the Controversial Podcast, where we talk about anything controversial RuneScape related in terms of news and updates. I'm joined by my lovely, my beautiful, my gorgeous, my absolutely stunning.
You're taking it too far.
My hunk of a man co-host.
That's accurate.
Dragon Seance.
Hello.
5.4 leader of efficiency experts, amateur PVMer. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And
hi everybody.
oh, 1 sec. There we go. And introducing our guest today, one of the most exceptional players to come up on RuneScape. He's only been playing for like 3 or 4 years. He's got 4k telos, one of the closest to true trim, and a completionist and a elite PVMer. I introduce my boy Lee.
Thanks for the introduction.
There we go. You got it.
Yeah. My
All
first
right.
appearance on camera, I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah. So this is Lee's first ever face reveal.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know him, he's probably the player that's like grown or gotten best or gotten really good at the game really fast compared to most people. He's really exceptional. All right, so let's go straight into it. So what I really want to talk about is you, Lee. Is how you, how you got into the game. Like what made you want to get really good at the game? What pushed you? You know,
Or is it just crippling addiction like the rest of us?
I mean, we're all crippled with addiction, but most of us can't be asked getting good at the game. So, like, when did you start playing, and what got you?
I started playing like 10 years ago in like middle school and free to play when every schoolmate was playing, but wasn't back really serious back then. I started seriously playing about 4 years ago. That was the first time I bought membership.
Well, you were free to play the whole time?
Before that, yeah. But
Oh, really? Okay.
Seriously, I was playing an hour here and there at school, killing cows, giants.
Killing.
That's what happens. We have friends who say, "Hey, try this game. You get to kill goblins and pick up iron daggers and stuff," and they have no idea about OCD and like the addiction to the dopamine. And then before you know it, you look up and you've spent 1,000 days played.
Something like that. Yeah.
Happens in the flash. So what made you like seriously play? Like what hooked you?
The first thing that comes to my mind was Master Escape announcement. When it got announced, that's the first time that I actually wanted to complete something, and what made me strive to do stuff. Like when it was announced, I wasn't even maxed yet.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So that's the thing I did most of my stuff for. And from then on, I basically got Completion Escape and Master Quest Escape and Max Escape at the same time, like few weeks or like months.
Few weeks?
It's hard to tell it's hard to tell between weeks and months when you don't sleep.
That's true. That's true.
They just all blend together.
So what got you into like PVMing? Like, because obviously I would say you're a pretty damn high level PVM. I mean, you've got 4k telos and you picked up continuous. You did continuous 4 ticking, right? You picked up really fast.
Yeah, towards the end.
Like Lee is like a perfect example of like for people that say they can't find teams. Like Lee was basically a nobody. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not to be mean, like not many people. Hey, that sounded really bad, but like not many people knew him, and no one took him to like high level PVM. But like he got himself in there around Solak? Was that when you started like? Or
Yeah,
was it
Angel
AOD?
of Death. I was there for Angel of Death release, but wasn't really top tier PVMer back then. Like on Angel of Death release, I was getting 15-minute kills for like few months after the release without status Warhammer and stuff.
So you would say Solak was the time when you really like pushed yourself and you were recognized by like every high level PVM, because I feel like every high level PVM right now knows you. I would imagine. So Solak was the time when you got into it, right?
Yeah, like I started Solak about 1 year after it was released, and I started doing it seriously, like hunting for titles. So more or less everything I did was Solak. And the teams I got into with connections, like I didn't have many friends. Basically, I started with Duoing and with Solak FC Discord, and from there on, I met some people that connected me with some other people and started getting into Henge 7-man teams.
Henge 7. Yeah, but the thing is, the thing that people need to realize, that like the average player needs to realize, is that happened through you putting time and effort in getting better.
Right.
And people
with randoms to start. Yeah.
And people recognizing like, holy shit, this guy's good. Like, they tell their friends like, oh yeah, let's bring him to our private team. Like some people like PVM in like public groups, but then they will recede back to their own like perm team. And sometimes they'll pick up people. They're like, wow, this guy's actually really fucking good. Let's bring him into our like main group. And that's how you get recognized, and that's how you like you network your way up into like really good teams. So like for anyone out there, like I just want to like, every time someone tells me like they can't find teams and stuff, it's like, you have to put yourself out there. You can't expect people to just come and find you. You gotta like put in the time and effort to actually show that you've learned, or that you're a quick learner, or you've done your research, and people will pick you up. Like, yeah. So, sorry, I was doing some things. So is there anything else you want to say about yourself? What made you strive for like true trim? It was the Questcape, I assume, the Master Questcape?
Yeah, from that on I just got Dreamcape because it was close to me. Like I did most of the things already with Master Questcape, so I only had little things left.
So as somebody who's done all the content in the game in the past 2 years, what did you enjoy the most, and what did you loathe the most?
I enjoyed bossing, mostly Vorago. That was fun. Like I did about 2,500 kills on my way to Vitalis.
Okay.
I think that's where I had the most fun.
Okay. What was the absolute worst?
Nothing really horrible comes to my mind. Probably Castle Wars, because it's that long and I'm still doing it.
You're not enjoying the Castle Wars grind?
I mean, AFK is fine, because before that I was always tryharding and doing the hench methods. Barely any AFK, and now
have you picked up anything else? You're just watching Netflix or whatever?
Yeah, sort of Netflix, Twitch streams.
Gotcha.
So what about Castle Wars did you enjoy the most? About, what made you have the most fun during wait, did I say Castle Wars?
You said Castle Wars.
I meant
Vorago.
Holy moly.
I don't know, the whole boss, like, it was, all mechanics can be negated more or less if you put in enough effort. And
so high skill ceiling?
Yeah, and a variety of mechanics that require like different ways of reacting to it. Yep.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Should we move on to the Land of Time discussions now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about Anachronia.
Anachronia, agility. So we all have the numbers, we all have the XP rates. Let's talk about, first off, how it compares to other agility courses in terms of like skill ceiling, reward, effort equating reward. What do you guys think? Starting going.
So Yeah, the length really sets it apart from everything else. Like, it sounds simple, but having an agility course as long as the Anachronia course is keeps it somewhat fresh when you compare it to like Barb Advanced or Gnome Advanced, where it's like, 30, 35 seconds and you've done a lap. It just becomes so monotonous very quickly. So I do think that Anachronia's agility course is phenomenal, and if Silverhawks didn't exist, it would be a extremely well received update, more so than it is already, mostly for Iron Men and people who for whatever reason do not want to use Silverhawk feathers. But I really like it,
considering it's XP per hour and GB per hour. For people who can't really do PVM, it's kind of insane. Like GP.
Well, yeah, if you can't do PVM at a higher level, or if you don't want to do like combination runes or some of the higher activity level skilling that gives you the high GP per hour, it's fantastic, right? It's so much better than Heffen, and you get the codex pages. So
I mean,
I do like it.
7.6 mil now is like no joke for most people. Like that's
a lot of money. It won't stay there. It won't stay there.
It won't stay there. Like, I'm expecting the codex to drop to like 20 mil, but even then it'll be like, nearly 4 mil an hour while getting the best agility XP per hour outside of Silverhawks. Like,
yeah, I'd expect them to be somewhere between 15 and 20 mil, but as you said, even that, it's just such an improvement over any other course. And with a lot of the skills in the game already being insanely fast, agility is one of the last ones, unless you do it the lossless method. It's one of the last ones to get a super high tier, high requirement activity. So I'm a big fan of the agility course. I think it stays fresh. I like racing people on it, whether they know I'm racing them or not. I usually win if they don't know.
Do you shit talk? Do you shit talk when you go past?
Only in my head. Only in my head. Like they mess up a bladed dive or something.
Back in the day, you would flame people for being bad at Barbarian Advanced course.
Oh yeah, for not clicking. Not clicking between right before the wall jump, losing a tick every lap. I would flame people.
Dude, I'd get. Sometimes I'll get like real fucking serious. I'll like put some hardstyle on, just like nothing else open, just full focus, just go at it. When someone shit talks to me, that's what I do. I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking destroy this kid. So I wait like one lap until he gets like, so we're at the same point, and I just fucking.
So just a quick aside. So Argeos was doing Barb Advanced one day, and I trash talked him so much, he was like, well, I guess I'm just garbage then, and locked off.
That's friends.
So I try not to do it like actively, but I do it in my head. But no, it's fun, and the fact that it records your amount of completions, like your quickest time, it's got a higher skill ceiling than any other agility content. There's a certain player who had several accounts that got to 200 mil agility that I believe would appreciate this type of update.
Probably.
Maybe it's a little bit too fast. Maybe it's a little bit too fast in terms of XP.
He's a bit of a boomer now, so I don't know if he could keep up. What do you think? What do you think, Lee, of the course?
Lee's gone. No. What are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts on the course?
I really like it, like especially compared to the previous courses. It raises skill ceiling so far. Like with previous courses, you don't have much leniency. It's very, very easy to do it at very high efficiency, and with this one, it's quite hard to optimize and always room to improve, since there's so much space between the obstacles and the different paths to get to them, and you have to really utilize your mobility abilities, and it's fun compared to like Kevin, where you just click on the same spot all the time.
Yeah,
you set it up with a speed pad and click with your feet.
Was a terrible course, mechanically or gameplay wise. What are your fastest times?
My fastest time is around 6 minutes. I didn't really try.
You're trash. What the hell?
Mine is also 6 minutes, Omid. What's the point after you get the oils and the...
You guys want to know my time?
Not if it's below 5:40.
Oh, well, that's 5 minutes 52.
Okay, you're allowed then. I'm actually curious. I doubt we even know which orientation is fastest. Like anti-clockwise, I've seen a 5:35. Clockwise, I've seen like a 5:35.
No, 5:30 clockwise by Mocktail.
5:30.
Have you guys watched it? It's actually pretty nutty. The way he does some of the things is kind of like... There's one part which is just completely mind-boggles me, where he surges, backsteps, and goes diagonal and surges. Like, I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
Yeah. So he loads the bladed dive. He loads
518 by Noah, apparently. 518? Wait, is that dummies? Because I don't give a shit. If it's the use of dummies,
if you're
or
barging
prisms,
dummies,
if it's barging dummies and prisms, you literally... Wait, no dummies 518?
That's really
good. And
no
prisms? Just surge and play dive, right? Because that's insane. I didn't even think that was possible. I mean, I knew like around 530 was possible, but 518 is actually kind of like crazy.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
Wow, I got
20 ticks. 20. That beats the best one I've seen by 20 ticks. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so I think Jake's intention was for this course to be the fastest way of traveling around Anachronia, but in reality it isn't, apart from that one cave teleport, right? Do you guys think that this course should be the fastest way of traveling around?
Yeah.
I mean, I think yes, but it's a hard design, but generally I think that it should be, right?
So it's part of a bigger question, right? And that's, do you like the way RuneScape has gone with having a different teleport location every like 10 squares? Anachronia is the one. Anachronia and Lost Grove are really the only large land masses where there's not 50 tellies. You know what I mean? So with Anachronia, you've got the Slayer telly and you've got the Totem of the Abyss. Otherwise, it's going to take you 3 to 4 minutes to get to the furthest reaches of the island. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think that should be... I don't know. I think that traveling with the agility course should be like twice as fast as if you were not using it. That's basically what I'm saying.
No, I agree. So, but I don't know, like, if they're going to make teleports, right? Because it's an easy reward space for them to add different teleports to the island. Whether they do it or not.
I think it'll be conflicting with the agility, what they intended the agility course to be, and the totems. So I don't think they would do that. Wazzy had a good idea of being able to go up and down levels from the agility course, which would speed up a lot of travel to certain destinations.
For sure.
Yeah, so like there's so many times when I'm traveling to certain dinosaurs, I forgot the names of the dinosaurs that this is the case with, but like if you could go down or up a level, you would save like a good like 40 seconds if you could.
How did you forget? It's the British dinosaurs.
No, I'm not talking about the British. I'm talking about one of the big game hunters. I think it's the...
yes.
I think it's the Simitops? The rainbow big boy.
The rainbow... Yeah, he's the more...
if you want to get to him, you have to go Slayer Cave, but then you get to the point where like you could go... Like he's below you, but you have to go all the way around to get to him.
Yeah.
And that's also using the agility course to go all the way around, so... I forgot the name of the dinosaur, but I wish there was what they could do to make the agility course to be the fastest way of traveling around is by allowing you to go up and down levels using it. So, so what do you guys think of the double surge? Were you guys surprised that it wasn't charge based like most people theorized? And what do you think of its viabilities?
Lee, you can go first.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised. Like, it made that much more sense for it to have 2 charges and charge each charge separately, because that's the how the other games do it. Yeah, but it's still very useful. Like,
yeah, I mean,
two surges instead of
Yeah, I
one.
mean it's essentially like a surge every 5 seconds. So it surprised me as well. Like what? So just to explain, what most people thought the mutated surge was going to be was you hit the cooldown, then another cooldown starts, even though you have one surge available, and you can store up to 2 surges. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but what are your thoughts on it, Gunnar?
Well, I mean, it works how I thought it was going to work, but I was in the minority. The only thing that didn't happen like how I expected, and I, am not sure it's the best decision, is that it incurs global cooldown. So Surge, typically movement abilities don't, incur the global cooldown, but to Surge and then Surge again, you have to wait, a full game tick. So
yeah, they said they couldn't do anything about that.
It's good. It could be better if that were changed. But it's like necessary for big game hunter if you mess up in even the slightest. So like if you're on like a 3 dino or even a 2 dino with a tight route, yeah, I can see why they brought it into the game now, for sure. But I do like it. Anything that makes the game more fast paced at a high skill level is good.
I agree with that. So let's move forward to Big Game Hunter. So for anyone in chat that wants to keep up with the rates and the reasons for our opinions, there's the Google Docs of all the numbers you need to know about of inland art time in Anachronia. So as reference. So Big Game Hunter in Anachronia. So is the effort worth the reward? Why can't it be good XP and good GP? Because if we look at the numbers, I don't know if you two have the numbers up.
The better XP it is, the worse GP it's going to be over time, right? Because more people will do it compared to, say, Grenwalls or Charming Moths. But you're right, it should be much better XP than it is. That will just mean over time the GP will go down. But that's to be expected. I think they may have...
I disagree. I would say yes with agility, right? So comparing to the agility of Anachronia is a good example, right? It's the best XP per hour, and it's also really good money per hour. But the reason that's probably going to go to like 4 mil is because there's no real room for human error, and it's a lot easier and more relaxed than doing Big Game Hunter with all the variables, right?
No risk.
No risk, right? That's what I was going for. So I think if Big Game Hunter was the best XP per hour, it'd still be really good GP per hour. I mean, look at frenzy fishing, right? I think frenzy fishing is a reason why that doing it the way they're doing it is a bit of a is the wrong way of doing it. I think frenzy fishing should if it's just XP, right? So I'm mainly talking about on the topic of like things that require a lot of effort, right?
I gotcha.
So things that are just XP should be significantly higher than the second best thing. I'm talking about like 50% better. I think
frenzy to Wobbegong?
Yeah, frenzy fishing should be like 50% better than Wobbegongs, right? Big Game Hunter, in my opinion, should be the same XP as the highest XP, as the current highest XP method, which is totals at 800k an hour. So if you look at the numbers, if you just do tier 3, it's 490k an hour. But that's, assuming you only do tier 3, and that's not you can't do that consistently because of the cooldowns, right?
Right.
And
you can switch back to tier 2 and make more money currently, right?
I think
but you'll be getting less.
I think
XP.
that the full run currently is 331k an hour. I think that should be like 700k.
Yeah.
What
do you think? What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, it's definitely a little too little comparing to the other rates, because that's really not much point doing this new hunter, other than it's fun and it's better content for like streaming.
do you guys think that something being fun alone is good enough, or do you think it should be good XP per hour? Like this whole mentality of efficiency and But like the thing is, like no one likes getting like. It's kind of hard to talk about, right? Do you want to take it, Gunnar?
Yeah. So I don't think that is enough forever, right? For something to be fun in July 2019 cannot carry the content until, the end of RuneScape. But I do feel that Big Game Hunter is, as Lee said, more streamable, better to advertise the game. But the main thing is that it's divergent from typical RuneScape skilling. It's a little bit higher skill floor and a little bit higher skill ceiling. So even when you were two-ticking Hunter before, it was just the same pattern over and over and over and over again. There's at least a modicum of thought to Big Game Hunter. So as far as XP goes, I am not entirely sure that they need to like double the XP or add 50% to it, as long as it stays good money, which it will depending on what uses they add for T3 meats. But I also don't think it just should be garbage, basically, for XP, because it is much more difficult than, just sitting down at Tortles and just doing hunting the same way you've hunted since 2007.
But
yeah.
So the thing, the problem I have with this not being good GP and good XP is that if you're doing tier 3s only, you are losing a ton of money, right?
Yep.
Going forward, and until you hit that big rare. But like on normal drops, you're losing a ton of money. And realistically, if tier 3s are efficient to do, why would anyone doing tier 2 sell their meat? Why wouldn't they just do tier 3 as well? Because the difficulty difference between tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 is basically the same, right? And usually with something that requires like an entry item like Ascensions and Magister, there's a massive difficulty difference or mechanic difference between you gathering the material.
And Legios.
Yeah. Like Orari to Legios is a big jump, right? And like Soul Devourers to Magister is a big jump. Or we could even say like a very different jump. But with this, it's just basically the same. Even, arguably, sometimes it gets easier as you go higher tiers. That's a funny thing. Malatops is like the easiest one. Yeah, of all of them. A ginormous arena. Like all of them. Like a lot of the tier 3s are actually very easy. The tier 1s are generally the hardest, actually, if I remember correctly. So, I
mean, the Quetzalcoatlus looking guy in tier 1 is in my opinion the hardest one. What is it? Arcane. Arcane Apterosaur. The one where there's like a tree like up a hill and his
it's a tier 1. Tier 1.
Yeah, it's a tier 1.
Yeah, that one is probably the hardest one, I would say.
I would say that tier 1 is the hard, even though they took the Jidenko encounter out of tier 1. So they've heard this criticism, right? They've heard that there's not enough of a difference between the tiers. So I don't know if they're going to continue to make changes to allow for progression, but the lowest level dinosaur being the most difficult, and then the Malatops having like 3 safe spots and it effectively being the easiest is a little silly to me. So that could be changed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot they could do, right? Like they could introduce like simple but engaging mechanics as you go up tiers, which I'm sure a ton of ideas has been suggested by now. What do you think, Lee?
Another very easy fix for that could be like just enlarging and lowering the circle, like making catching circles smaller for tier 1 and bigger for tier 3.
Wait, could you go closer to your mic, or I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot better. Can you say that again? Sorry.
Just making rings smaller or bigger depending on the creature. So like tier 3 would have the biggest circle and tier 1 would have a little bit smaller circle.
That would be a very easy and decent fix, honestly. I agree with that. And I think that
they could make that quickly too. So that's the thing.
I'm pretty sure they can do it, and like one of them could do it on a lunch break or something.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing is sometimes Jagex is very proactive, right? And they make changes immediately. Sometimes too quick, right? It's a knee-jerk reaction, which can be bad, but it can also, fix content. In this case, they could wait 6 months and then change the detection rings, and it won't really make a difference. You know what I mean? And unless you're between 75 and 93 hunter. Although they did immediately remove the meat from the Town Hall General Store.
Yeah, they did.
Immediately.
They could have. You know what they could have done? I'm surprised they just removed it. I was like, why not just make it untradeable? That would be good. Like,
they want to market for the tier 1 meats. They want to market for the tier 2 meats. And come next month, they'll want to or the month after, because they announced the RuneFest theme, right? They'll want to market for the T3 meats. They want people doing all of these hunter creatures.
But people in the long run aren't, though. Like, I can't imagine this piece of content being like very alive in like a couple of months. I just can't see it.
It depends.
Like, no one's gonna want to put that much effort in, and no one has the money to invest in meats into getting the more pieces, or rolling for the more pieces. And like, who's gonna be doing tier 1 to tier 2 dinosaurs? I wonder
if the tier 2 meat is still 10+ mil an hour. I think a lot of people are gonna do the tier 2 dinos. So that's a big thing, right? Is you and I are probably gonna be doing the T3s almost exclusively, probably exclusively.
Are you talking to me? Because no. Wait, why?
Oh, you're not? You're doing the 1s and 2s?
Wait, I'm not even gonna do big. Why am I doing Big Game Hunter?
The titles. You need to do 1,000 of them. Unless you're done.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so I would just do tier 1 to 2, tier 1 to 3, or tier 1 to 2 probably. Tier 1 to 2 would be the best thing for us. What do you mean?
Tier 1 to 2 would make you the most money. Sure.
So do you think? Let's take the average G per hour rate. Do you think tier 1 to 2 is better, or tier 3 only?
Definitely tier 1 to 2 is the most money,
including the red drop.
Including them all.
Even though we don't know the drop rate.
From what it's all conjecture, right? We don't really know the rate. If it's 1 in 512 for a piece, it's much different than if it's 1 in 256, but we don't know. So it's hard to do that math. It's just guesswork.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, currently I think it's best to do tier 1 and 2, because meats are like 500k each or something like that.
Yeah, Corbicula is over 500k.
Yeah, and that adds up quickly a lot. And like top maul is that common. We've seen people get really dry on it. Like, few people have 600 kills without a single piece.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. No, it is quite a bit. So
it's more of an investment than like any other anything else in the game.
I don't think Jagex expected that. I think they expected people to be training on the T2, and the meats would be cheaper. That's why they didn't mind putting it in the store.
I'm kind of curious what Jagex intended, because obviously one thing that's like 100% sure, I'm sure on, is that they didn't intend the prices of meats to be this expensive.
Oh,
and the reason they are is because it's bad XP. If they just double the XP per hour, it'll literally solve everything.
Why is it a problem that the meats are expensive?
I mean, it's just like no one's gonna be. I just can't imagine anyone doing this in a couple of months. That's all I'm saying.
If the bot, okay, so hypothetically,
it all comes down to the mall. It all comes down to the mall.
You say that, but I'm not entirely sure.
What
the mall might just be one component of. The mall might just be one. If the T3 meats end up being a key, like the Legio keys.
Oh, okay. You're talking about a tier 3 meat. Okay. Well, we don't
I'm saying we don't know.
I mean, we don't know what the tier 3. Okay.
It's
what do you think tier 3 meat is gonna
are.
do? Go. I said go.
Open up all possibilities. Yeah.
Wait. Go. Wait. You meant to.
Am I meant to go?
Yeah,
I'm doing all the
then.
talking. I think it's gonna be a key. So like, there's that island off the west that has 3 similar arenas to what the tiers of dinos are currently. So if they add a like Stegosaur, T-Rex, and Pterodon boss, that's what I think they're gonna do.
So you think boss?
I'm thinking 3 bosses.
Oh, I think I was thinking one of each meat. Okay,
For one boss.
One
Yeah,
boss.
I've heard that one. I've heard that one as well.
they're definitely gonna include like, they're definitely gonna make you use all three meats because that's their intention with this update, right? Is to utilize everything. Utilize.
What
all
are you
the
gonna What are you
batches of
gonna make
dinosaurs.
with 3 meats? Are you gonna make them like a panini or something?
No, because the big boy boss dinosaur is gonna need 3 meat. He's not gonna settle 1 meat. He's not gonna come out of hiding for 1 meat.
I'm just wondering, like, it could be in the volcano, it could be under the island, but we've covered the major types of dinosaurs, right? Like, they've got like a Stegosaurus and 2 like Triceratops looking dudes. They've got 3 pterodons and 3 theropods.
I mean,
right? The T-Rex dudes.
Dragon,
what are they gonna make?
Dragonkin has been there.
Are we gonna feed Carapac?
No, Carapac has manifested something like combine the genes of Dragonkin and dinosaur.
Okay. All right. I could see it happening after a quest gets added in August.
Oh, someone said
We'll
3
see.
bosses and 3 new best in slot cape. I mean that's a good idea, but I
Could
don't think
happen.
but they said that they confirmed that capes aren't in the production. So
They also said Fossil Island definitely wasn't coming to RS3.
is it called Fossil Island?
It is in some of the dialogue.
What do you think, Lee? What do you think the 3 meat are gonna be? Is
A Mosasaur, nice.
My first thought was combining the meats into one new boss, but there could also be like possibility of boss having multiple phases, and each uses on different phases or something like that.
Ooh!
Randomized phases for the even consumption of the meat. That will be nice.
Dude, imagine if they just made it so you could. Imagine if they just upped the healing of it, and that's all they did to it. That was.
So, I was talking to Lee, and I'm like, dude, what do you think the meat's gonna do? You think there's gonna be a boss? He's like, probably just dino soup.
Dino soup. Oh my god. No, but I just thought of something. What if the boss, you can freely enter the boss without any kind of entry, right? But the meats give you buffs during the fight.
Ooh, okay.
So like, you know what I mean?
Based
like
on where they
10%
came from.
Bait.
Like, so like the Pavosaurus would give you like a DPS boost. The Malatops would give you an armor. Okay.
Yeah.
Pavosaurus meat is
So
gonna
it wouldn't
be
be
the best then.
It wouldn't be a necessity to access the boss, but it will give you like a significant buff to the point where it's essential.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
So you guys know about this idea. Let me just pitch it again and see what you guys actually think, because I don't think I've heard your guys' opinions on this. So what do you guys think of the idea of being able to freely choose if you want a double or triple dino? Like, so let me just elaborate. So instead of you placing a meat on the pressure plate, right, and that's how your meat is consumed, you would the meat would be consumed on the bait pad, right? So for a single dino spawn, it would consume 1 meat. If for a double dino spawn, it would consume 3 meat, or like 2 meat. And for a triple dino, it would be roughly the same, because I would imagine for most people, double dinos would be more efficient than triple dinos. So what do you guys? So if you fail the dino encounter from the start, you will lose the meat. So there's a sense of risk as well when failing. Whereas currently, the only sense of risk is you losing out on time. So what do you guys think?
Lee, you first.
It would be nice for people to be able to choose also for the achievement's sake, because currently there's a lot of people with like 500 encounters who have encountered a Triosaur and failed it or something because they were too unfamiliar with the mechanics and didn't get to practice it much. So it's a lot.
So they got like a trio, their second one, and got screwed.
Something like that.
The intention of this isn't for achievements, more for 1, upping the XP rate, and 2, consistently rewarding people who are willing to put in more effort, you know?
Yeah, I imagine trio could be better, but for most people it will be way worse.
Yeah, for like the
It would take like 20 minutes per encounter for the average
the vast
person.
majority. I would imagine the reason I would say like single dino 1 meat 2 dino 3 meat and potentially 3 dino 3 meat as well is because for most people, I would say a vast majority, 3 dinos is going to result in a worse XP per hour and worse GB per hour than 2 dinos. But it gives that, it gives that access for people to like put in. I just want people who are willing to put in the effort to be consistently rewarded for it. That's all. Like, and this would also naturally increase the XP per hour.
It would increase the XP per hour, but to something you said earlier, it increases the risk versus reward, which is what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to make it more like PVM. PVM, you fail a kill, not only do you lose your time, but you pay death costs, right? There's a risk associated with performing poorly. In Big Game Hunter, you mess up, oh my god, you got to make a couple more spears, maybe, and maybe poison them. Like, depends when you like. If you fail at the beginning of the round, it's meaningless, basically.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So I think your idea solves a lot of issues. To Lee's point, achievement hunters rejoice because you could force a 3 spawn, but also just for good gameplay, having some element of risk is a great idea. So I think you should load, as you said, load the meat first. If you fail, you lose your meat, and with the meat at 300 to 500k for the T2s, it's not nothing.
Yeah.
That's the only way to keep skilling profitable, because as we've seen throughout the history of RuneScape, unless you're running for somebody else or doing something that's like, 400 APM, you're not going to end up making money with the same method year over year.
So why do you think Jax won't implement this? Because I think this wouldn't take too much development time to do, right? Like,
people will whine. People are
who would whine? Dude,
there's already people on Reddit who are like, oh, Big Game Hunter's too hard.
Get them in this call. Whoever whines right now about this suggestion, get them in this call and tell me why it's bad. No, but why do you think? Just
if you want difficult gameplay, go to Telos. This is for skillers.
This is the thing. Like, I'm fine with there being an AFK method. I'm fine with there being an easy method. But there should always be an option to put in more effort to get more reward, right? I was talking about this earlier. It's like when I play a new game, I want there to be a massive gap between me as a new player and a high-level player. I don't want to be able to perform as well as them. Like, there needs to be a gap. So I have something to strive for, something to work to get better at. Like, I don't know. I just don't... I can't fathom how someone could like be against something like this. Wait, so you think it's just people complain? Like, what do you think? Like what about JMods themselves? Like, outside of like Reddit influence. Like, why do you think? Do you think they all think that it's going to be too OP? Because I'll
let Lee go. I'll let Lee go first, and then
good luck.
Yeah, that would definitely be an argument, but won't be much sense, since it would be very hard and unrealistic to actually perform it that well to be more efficient. Another point that can be taken is people will rage because their achievement is devalued, because they had to get to the trio and encounter themselves
on
legendary. It can definitely be the case.
Yeah,
the trio dino is nothing prestigious to be upset over in terms of like
all it says is that you have patience, right? That's all it says, and that's okay. You're still gonna have to be patient even if you force it. You still have to surge in, get a couple ticks on your bait pad, and then BD out. I don't get it. I don't get why anybody would be upset by that. But I don't see devaluation the same way most people do. So
I mean,
okay.
me and Gunnar have had more devaluation than like most people, I would say. Like, the things we did, and then they like straight away, like a month after, it just gets like 10 times easier. So many pieces of content. The two that come to mind that may not be the most significant is like Shad Worlds got a lot quicker. Temple trekking, remember temple trekking? We did it, and a week later they made it like 4 times quicker.
That was garbage.
Me and Gunnar were like 20 hours a day for like 5 days straight, and we finally completed it.
They said, wow, people are really enjoying temple trekking, let's make an update. And it was just open.
They just made it like 4 times quicker, and I'm just saying that, like, Oh, fuck me.
No, the big thing, Omid, is if you look at 12 years ago, when Slayer was 60k an hour.
Wait, 60k is high, actually.
60k is quite high. 60k was tryharding. Yeah.
60k is.
It might even be like 50k.
Was like, you got 60k and you're not.
You were a god.
Like, you're a god. Like,
it took me 5,500 tasks for 200 mil Slayer.
Yeah, you got 200 mil Slayer entirely on that. I think I was like 90 mil Slayer on sub 60k an hour. But like, I don't mind devaluation as long as it's more effort.
It's for the good of gameplay. Yeah, if it's for the good of gameplay, raises the skill ceiling, I'm all for it.
What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, it's healthy that the evaluation comes with time for the content to be easily completable, so they can catch up to you, like complete older content faster and move on to the newer content. Like
it's amazing that people don't understand that. Why do you think that is, Lee? That people care so much about devaluation? Because do you think it's like an identity thing? Like they see themselves as their accomplishments?
Losing time doing it before that, spending more time than the other players, and that might be unfair to them, that they're not being rewarded for their time spent and doing the content.
I've never seen it as bad as the Profound, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
It's just I hate it when they're inconsistent with it, right? So, good example is, I mean, they've done this. They've been inconsistent with this kind of stuff a ton of times. But a perfect example would be Linzer armor, right? So they 4 times the drop rate of Linzer armor, was it? Was it 4 times?
Yeah, 4 or 5, I don't remember.
It was massive, right? And the reason for that was mainly the title, right? They said that, you know, its drop rate did not reflect its value, right? But then I was like, well, fucking look at like KBD drops, right? KBD drops take a shit ton of time. Like we're obviously valuing it as like time versus time, right? Like KBD drops, for how good the rares are, they take insanely long. But like no one cared about, like no one cared to like, you know, suggest that, or it goes against their own interests, or, you know, it's just like a lot of inconsistencies.
Some influential person or somebody who knew a JMod whined, and
I mean, that's very likely.
It's just inconsistent application of logic, right? One JMod might do one thing, a different JMod might do another, but that's just human nature. It would be interesting though if they established a policy regarding like requirements and reward, right? So like if the requirements take X amount of time, we shouldn't make you know, like the completion of a boss log take more than X amount of time. But they're throwing that out the window when they add things like gold praisal. So like nothing is gonna be.
I mean, Comcape is like a good example of like the Comcape rework regarding did you guys read the guidelines for comp and trim? It was so arbitrary, and there's nothing objective about it. I was just like, this literally could mean anything. Like it just literally says if I think, like,
so
if I was at work reading
that,
huh?
I was at work reading that, and it was like, when you ask a completionist about any update, they should be able to tell you. I think I projectile vomited like 6 feet diameter.
Jesus.
It was like, what does that even mean for content? Be able to tell you about it. Somebody can read the wiki and tell you about it. It makes no sense.
A lot of I don't want to get into Comcape rework. But yeah, so my idea for Big Game Hunter to be revitalized is for the ability to choose double and triple dino spawns, to give it a risk by having an entry
preloading the bait.
Preloading the bait instead of consuming the bait at the pressure plate, and basically working around that to getting it double the XP it currently is. So currently, if you guys, again, what's the command called? Loot stats. If you do exclamation point loot stats, I spent roughly 60 hours testing everything and gathering numbers, and the only number that is not good enough is the triple spawn rate, because obviously I don't have enough sample size, and it's very unrealistic for someone to actually gather enough sample size to justify that number. But
you're not going to do 30,000 big game hunter
no.
kills?
So these are the like high end XP rates, including the average of like it. I averaged the double spawn in as well, and the time that the XP per hour of the double spawn, right? And tier 1 is 199k, tier 2 is 319k, tier 3 is 490k, and the full run tier 1 to 3 is 331k XP per hour. And these are high end XP rates and 0 fail. So obviously not realistic for a long period of time, right? But you know, it's the best way of measuring it. So like, what do you guys think should be done? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that anything should be done for Big Game Hunter in terms of like
Lee's done the most out of us. Lee, do you think it should be more difficult, easier? Should they add rewards?
No,
should they make the entry cheaper?
What do you
think? I
think?
totally agree with Omid's idea. Like, it could potentially raise the skill cap even further by doing duos and trios consistently, and would reward you more if you're good at it.
What were you saying, Omid?
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, what do you think they should do to to make it popular, to make it last?
Increase the XP, make it relevant.
Do you think so? So totals is 805k an hour, right? What do you think Big Game Hunter should be? What do you think tier 3 should be alone? Like doing tier 3 only. Remember, you can't do tier 3 consistently, right? You do all 3 tier 3s and you on lockdown for
yeah, but you can just do something
like
at the bank.
Minutes.
It's
no,
still
but really,
lossless.
people like consistency.
Yeah,
that's like saying why does anyone do anything but dailies? You know, like people.
That's
people
a good
like
question. It's 2019. Just do dailies.
No, but people like to consistently grind something. This isn't something you can consistently grind, right? So you have to even take that into consideration when. So tier 3 is 490k, and full run is 331k. What do you guys think those numbers should be?
At least 600 for the whole run, so it's kinda matching. But tier 3s alone should be like probably above 1 million or somewhere around there, especially if it costs money to do.
Right.
Way more effort.
Which it likely will, right? Until we know what the mole drop rate is and prices of T2 meats normalize, it's probably going to continue to cost money to do T3s. Omid, to answer your question, it's very hard to say, because why did this come out with a hunter nerf, right? What was Jagex's intent for nerfing turtles? Was it to make sure that people do big game hunter? If so, I completely agree with Lee. They should at least double it, right?
Yeah.
But I disagree with you to say that it matters if you can do it consistently, because I've always been somebody who's like, oh, tree runs, farm is that, you know what I mean?
I'm saying that if something is, I mean, I'm sure you agree, if something is consistent and something isn't, like something is consistent 800k an hour and something isn't, that, and let's say it takes the same skill, it should be higher, right? The one that isn't consistent.
The one that isn't consistent. Yes, it's like cash. It's like you can't do cash all day long.
Yeah, like any daily, right? Any daily.
Sinkholes. Right.
It's higher XP per hour because you're limited, because it isn't consistent, and that's why I brought it up in terms of its XP rates.
All right, let's call. I would say about $1 million an hour would be.
Oh, I was saying like 900, 800, 900k, because it's
no. So here's the thing, turtles. So, once you use the 99 hunter perk, it's exactly the same as it was, just for 40% of the XP. So it's not difficult. That's the thing. There's really no skill if you're doing the same motions over and over and over and over and over and over and over. At least there's a little bit of thought that goes into Big Game Hunter. Like, you shouldn't fail Big Game Hunter, don't get me wrong. It's not difficult the way some people make it out to be. But it is more difficult than traditional Hunter.
I mean, doing it well is really hard. Like, most people doing tier 3s were getting, like, I was looking at like other people's numbers and talking to a lot of other people, and they were getting like 400k. I don't know if they were including fails and such, but like I obviously included no fails, and I included the average of doubles as well, and I got 490k. I think there's a huge like difference between someone that's like 100% focusing and trying to like min-max every tick compared to someone just like doing it casually and just safely.
But that's the same with any content. Like Crystal Skill Champas, if you were doing them max effort, you could get close to 2 mil an hour. But the average person was. But the average person, exactly. That's different. What I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is with like something where you're doing the same routine over and over and over. It's not reactive thinking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's why boss mechanics, since EOC have gotten more into reactionary gameplay. Yeah. With Hunter, you could close your eyes and with the muscle memory before Big Game Hunter, end up doing about the same with keybinds, right? But Big Game Hunter's totally different, right? You never know when the Jadenko is going to spawn. You never, like, when you load an encounter, the grass is going to be in different areas. If you get a triple, it's totally different. So I do think they should up the XP, but I think the most important thing is rewards. There's not enough ways to spend your Hunter marks, period. That's the biggest problem.
You think that's the biggest? Wait, you think that's not the biggest problem? The biggest problem is XP rates.
I think that's the biggest problem. Absolutely.
No, it's not. If you could spend your Hunter marks, but the XP rates are still shit, no one's good.
Who says you can't spend your marks on XP?
I mean, you can currently, but
it's garbage.
Everything's overpriced, I would say.
Yes, but so they're expecting people to do it forever, like as a training method, but nobody's going to do it. People who want money are going to do Grenwalls, and people who want XP are going to do Turtles. There's no player that Big Game Hunter is made for.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that JX thinks, hey, if we up the XP rates, it'll be OP because it'll be good XP and it'll be good money. But I just don't see that as an issue. Like, that's not a bad thing, especially in Big Game Hunter where it requires like a lot more skill than any other skilling method, and it requires like a lot of like reactionary skill, reactionary gameplay. What am I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I gotcha.
Yeah, so is there anything else oh yeah, so what do you guys think of the tier 75 range tank armor?
Kind of useless. It's a range version of Ganodermy.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be useful for invention training, since there's no cheap other range armor. Like, you can buy Caril, certain Armadillo, but it's like 1 mil or 2 mil.
Dude, so it's like Gano, but less useful because you don't get fungal. Like, everybody knows what they need to do to fix the armor, and it would do well to keep Big Game Hunter active.
Wait, what do you think?
Add a 100% for Jurassic components from disassembly. Add a Dino Slayer perk. Yeah, and then when the Dino boss comes out next month,
I mean, yeah, that works.
Something.
I wasn't thinking. My idea. My idea was just like make it act as a tier 99 armor in Anachronia. Yeah. So in Anachronia only, like, it would act as tier 99 power armor. I mean, that's. I feel like there's so many things they could have done that armor, but it's just like filler and dead content, unfortunately. But it's just like, I just hate. I just hate that kind of stuff. What Dino? The Dino boss hasn't. Or it's just speculation.
Lee, what were you saying?
Sorry.
There's not much use to it being range. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be good, but I'm just saying it will have a use, right? For people that really want to range on Anachronia.
What four people are you talking about?
It'll be like less dead content, basically. So let's talk about the mall. So I talked to a few people about this, and apparently it's roughly a 4% increase in damage, and it's only more accurate than tier 92 if you have a base accuracy of less than 89% with tier 92.
So here's the thing. It all changes with weapon diversity, right? And not knowing the timeline for weapon diversity.
We want to first talk about the base before we move on to.
Can I say one thing and then I'll be quiet for like 3 minutes? I'll time myself.
Okay.
The inconsistent application of where Pterosaur Maul works and where Hex Hunter Bow works is absolutely atrocious, and they need to fix it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Lee, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that where it works, like it works at most elite dungeons, where bosses aren't even the start they need to be, or something. But it's nice if you're going for elite dungeon, like it's an upgrade. If you're gonna melee, might as well with the maul stabilizers.
I mean, you
300
need
people.
to in elite dungeons, in a lot of elite dungeons, you use ZGS spec and you need scythe. The question is, I don't think it's worth it in elite dungeons, because summoning pots are so valuable in elite dungeons, and just that tier upgrade isn't worth a summoning flask between each bank. What do you think, Lee? Do you think it's worth it?
Well,
It's-
yeah, especially if you have bank chests, since you can bank very often. Like you can bank
Yeah,
every.
but it's still a summon pot for that boss, assuming you need food.
Yeah, and how expensive summoning pots are. A lot of people prefer not to use them.
I mean, Maul is a pretty big investment. You could argue, like, if we're talking about prices.
Yeah, but you can sell it back. And like,
No,
once
when people
stabilizes, ideally you wouldn't lose money. You still have the value there with you.
so you think in a lot of cases that Maul beats a summon flask, assuming it's replacing a summon flask?
I'm not saying it beats it. I'm saying it's cheaper on average. And like, if it stops dashing.
I mean, yeah, you're right when you say it's cheaper, right? But like, I just, you have to understand that it's like a massive. It's like it's 1 bill right now, isn't it? It's roughly around 1 bill. That's a massive investment for some people. You know, like most people could like invest into other things that are just much more beneficial. Like, at what point in RuneScape are you gonna buy that Maul? Probably like one of the last things, right? After you got all 1092s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or it drops to like 200 mil, then it's not that.
So I'm saying, like, for someone in that position, I don't think the summoning flask value is gonna be anything that they're gonna consider. That's all. So
I can talk again.
was that really 3 minutes? Shit.
Yeah.
So we can move on to weapon
I do-
diversity. Like,
No.
okay.
I don't know if I necessarily agree that the Maul usage is cheaper than a summoning flask right now. Because at the current price, assuming if they make T3 meat worthwhile, more people are going to continue to do big game hunter, and the Maul, even though the Maul works on 8 out of 9 elite dungeon bosses, which is absolutely insane, it's going to go down, right? So you have to factor in that you're likely to lose money on owning the Maul. So I don't necessarily know that it would be cheaper. Omid, with weapon diversity, it's like tier like 103 damage. So if you can get your
Wouldn't it be
accuracy,
higher than that? Like,
it's like 103 or 105 or something like that with
like,
max gear.
I think, well, you can't like attach a tier to the Maul really, but after
Approximately.
After talking to a few people, they were saying like around tier 96-7 with a 4% damage increase above tier 92.
Right, but with weapon diversity, Mauls get +5 tiers of damage and -5
Oh, was
tiers
it
of
plus
accuracy.
5? For some reason I thought it was
Yeah.
plus 10.
So your chat is saying it's 110?
No,
but
Jay is memeing.
So there's I've heard a lot of different numbers, but anyway, I believe it's around 103 to 105 with weapon diversity. So the weird thing is though, and somebody had just mentioned this, and this is what I said before I took my vow of silence. Why does it work on Variclith? Why does it work on Seriu crystals?
Yeah,
why,
I mean,
and why does Hex Hunter work nowhere?
Do you think that they did that because they wanted the Maul to be used and not dead content?
Absolutely.
Also, the bow is gonna be like bad regardless because of the criminal bolts.
That's true. That's
Like,
true.
it has no chance of competing. I think at this moment, anyways.
So overall, what would that act? So just estimating, I know it's hard to describe a tier per se, depending on gear, but it would be like tier 80 something, low 80s accuracy with tier roughly 103
the accuracy
damage.
is just, you shouldn't attach a tier to it just because it's a 10%
Okay.
increase.
It's got a 10%
like aura.
buff. Yeah.
So
Yep.
the way you compare the Maul to a tier 92 is that if you're 89% or less accurate with tier 92, then the Maul is better. That's it.
Okay.
So if tier 92
All right, that makes
is has a higher accuracy than 89%, it'll be better than the Maul. That's basically.
Even post weapon diversity.
I've not considered any of these numbers with weapon diversity.
Okay.
So, let's move on to the next topic. But before that, we're gonna run a ad. All right, you guys ready? All right, you guys got mute your mics. All right, take it away.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this awesome podcast, but I have some important information that you might want to know about.
Head over to iTrollU's merch store now. Get your own ceramic mug that is not only microwave safe, but also dishwasher safe, which means you don't XP waste washing it. Get your own fashionable t-shirt only weighing at a light 153 grams, allowing you to escape with free movement for days. Lastly, feel the heat with this sexy bikini, made from 82% polyester and 18% materials you don't need to know. It even has a self-described cheeky fit.
And we are back. All right, so if you guys want to get your own I Trolled You merch, link is not in chat, and if anyone links it, I'll ban them. All right, so our next topic is Anachronia Base Camp. So, what do you guys think of the gameplay and comparing it to player-owned ports? What do you think of it?
It's too linear,
Wait,
too easy to.
Gunnar, your mic is muted still.
I knew that, Omid, actually.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to see if you could tell. No, Lee, you go first.
Yeah, it's too linear. It's like too easy to do it well, straightforward. What's the best path? And most people are gonna do that path. Like, playstyle is very popular nowadays with like different games, Clash of Clans and stuff. And I've played a lot of games like that, but it's not really rewarding or something. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel challenging.
So we'll talk about the rewards immediately after the gameplay.
we're
But
just-
what Lee said is exactly right, and I know it's what Omid thinks, and it is accurate, right? It's so obvious the best path is to get the sleeping quarters to the highest tier as quickly as possible. So you just get more workers, and then you bang out the rest of it in like a week.
There's no
thought.
decision making in base camp compared to in ports. There was like a lot of decision making, right? There's a lot of managing, but with this, it's like very linear and very straightforward. And that's
So,
like
I say
like
this
it.
as I like it too, but as somebody who ports is my favorite content in the game, there's
Ports is,
definitely
like the idle type kind
no
of
reason.
content is very popular.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's widely popular.
Yeah, but Lee was right on the nose, right? It's too linear to be interesting. Like, we all play RuneScape, we all just like to see our numbers go up. But as of right now, after you fully upgrade, you get your T3 everything, there's nothing to do, right? At least with ports, you have like a % of failure, right? Every mission you send out, you might fail.
Yeah.
You have to balance your crew, your boat, everything. And maybe base camp will get an update, but as of right now, it's just 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Build your hunter lodge, your slayer lodge, and your spa, and then you're done, and you never go back to base camp.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, no real decision making. Your decisions don't really have a massive impact on your results. I just wish it was more like ports, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I just wish there was like, maybe not exactly, I haven't thought of an idea, but not exactly like ports, but there should be some kind of like decision making and managing that like has a impact on your results. That's all. Like,
so I have an idea. Let me know what you think.
Go for
so
it.
one of the things that I think Basecamp has working against it is its completable content, right? Once you do it, it's done. There need to be consumables for each of the resources, and you need to manage whether you want to spend on reward A, reward B, or reward C after you've fully upgraded everything. So I thought of a couple, like using a couple thousand vines, let's call it 3,000 vines, to get a lasso that is consumed upon use, where you jump sections of the agility course. You get the full XP for that whole section. You get the codex pages you would get for that whole section, but it disables your time for that lap. So that's just a use of the vines. You could make like smoke bombs that are AoE out of the clay, the terracotta. You could take the other resources like the hides and make a strop, which a strop is how you like sharpen a razor, like a straight edge razor. It's made out of leather. So you could use that for like a crit bonus for 1 hour. The problem is you don't have to decide. You just go right through it, and then you never touch Basecamp again. And as you said, there's no risk. Also, if you got to tier 2 of, what's the second thing? It goes Town Hall. What's the second one before
Storage?
sleeping quarters? Storage shed, yeah, or whatever it's called. If you hit the buttons on that to set up your resources and didn't log in for 10 days, you would not lose any time.
Yeah.
That's a little too idle for me. Like,
Yeah.
at least ports, it's once a day. There's nothing to say that you can't just do it and then log. Same thing with the sleeping quarters when you go from 30 workers to 60 workers.
What do you think they could
I don't
do
get it.
to,
There's no
like,
incentive.
What do you think they could do to like make it better without making it exactly like ports? Do you guys have any ideas? Because I haven't really thought about it, honestly. Like, I like the decision making of ports, right? I like the constant like having to manage everything in ports, right? But with this, it's obviously way too linear.
So some people mention that they like the idleness of it and that you don't have to go back very often, which I can definitely see. But to your point, Omid, if you just added consumables again for every resource, you would have to decide which ones you want. It's like ports when you go to make scrimshaws, right? You can only get certain untradeable scrimshaws, and you have to decide: do you want more superior elements? Do you want more superior cruelty? Do you want more superior vampirism? You're sacrificing one by going for the other, and it would be the same thing with Basecamp. So, for example, if you use the stone, the hides, and like the leaves, right? If each of them gave, if you had to spend 25,000 of them to get an item that gave you 5% increased crit with only one combat style, you would have to prioritize which one you want. It wouldn't improve the gameplay the way you said, but it would at least encourage decision making, and there would be some trade-off.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, what do you think, Lee?
Yeah, it definitely feels nice to get some reward like that. Like, the one thing I was thinking about is also dinosaur bone meal. Like, you could make it available from the mini game, like, so it auto turns it into bone meal if you give bones.
Wait, bone meal for
Or like
what?
upgraded prayer potions.
Oh, you're saying it would be the same as wyvern bone meal?
Yeah, but like upgraded maybe.
Oh,
a little.
upgraded.
Since there's a huge problem with prayer nowadays. Like, to go for an hour of Slayer, you need like 8 spaces of inventory for prayer.
Yeah, but
That's
most people don't use. I think like grinding bones is like too much effort, and that daily
People do the Robin Hood daily.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't know.
daily,
I don't
like-
know the people, but they do
It's
it.
like-
I did it for like a couple weeks.
Like maybe they should change. Maybe they should like make. I mean, this is going a bit of off a tangent, but like maybe they should make like super prayers a bit more viable or accessible.
How would you do that?
I don't-
Make the grinding quicker? What would you do?
Pay per pot, pay per like bone meal,
Yeah, noted.
like
bonus
GP.
maybe.
Or maybe wait. Boom. Ready?
I'm ready.
Take a portion of the workers in base camp to work on grinding your fucking bones. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
That's fine,
I'm
but
not-
you're just adding another resource to base camp. You're not working with
No,
the
but
confines of the.
but there's a sense of
mini-game.
like, wait. I mean, kind of, but like, yeah. What if your workers at the base camp could do like shit like that at a very slow rate?
No, that would be fine. That would be fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so once you're done upgrading all your buildings, you could send 5 people to work on leaves, and during those leaves, when they get, say, let's call it 25,000. I'm just throwing out numbers. You trade those for magical tea leaves, and then that gives you a 5% magic crit. You put them to stone, then you spend the stone on something
Wait, you
that
think-
gives
you
you
think-
5% melee crit
You
for
think-
an hour.
You think these effects should work around Glenor or just?
Oh yeah, I do. Scrimshaws work
I mean,
all
yeah,
around
I
Gillinor.
don't disagree. I think there should be like a consumable like Scrimshaw from base camp. I mean once you hit all the buildings, is there anything to do?
No,
Is there
there's
any-
nothing.
Huh. I wonder if
It's
people
done.
like
It's
that.
like the Nexus.
I wonder if people like that. I wonder if people want it to be like that or would rather have, incentive to go back and potentially, inciting daily
Let's ask Lee, as the prototypical completionist, do you like finishing things and never going back?
I mean,
Yeah, I like that, but I would also like there to be like option to come back and get something, like another daily that doesn't take too much.
Lee just asked for another daily.
It doesn't like it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be significant, but just give it some boost.
I agree with you. And it wouldn't necessarily be daily, right? Because with the biggest sleeping quarters or biggest town hall, what is it? No, it's the storage thing. I always forget the freaking second building. With the biggest storage thing, you only have to go back like once a week. So it's not.
Also,
I
you could
don't know.
like the untradeable dino meat. You could buy it with the resources. Like remember,
There you go.
like
but
how they
I don't know
added
if they're going to do that now.
how they added tier 1 meat, but then they removed it. They could reintroduce it, make it untradeable, and make it so you have to buy it with resources rather than GP. There you go.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a lot of things. I feel like if we sit down, we could probably come up with a bunch of ideas like that. But my main issue of the base camp, like I said, no decision making too linear. Like,
Yeah, no risk either. Your port's
is there-
crew members
I
can
guess
die.
there's a risk, yeah. There's a sense of
There-
excitement going back, like opening up your voyages and see if it failed or not. I
Yeah.
like that. I think basically what I'm saying is that I think most people think ports is better than way better than base camp, right?
Let's talk about the rewards for base camp, because a lot of people judge content rightly or wrongly depending on rewards.
Wait. We're talking. Okay.
Am I skipping ahead?
Yeah, you are. All right. So we're gonna do a quick fire ratings. Fuck me.
What are we rating?
So I'm gonna go through every base camp reward, and you guys are gonna give me a number, right? Out of 10.
All right.
10% agility XP, 50% longer spa. Go, Gunnar.
5.5.
Lee.
7, like spice useful.
I would say just for the agility XP, 8. But the spa is bad.
But Silverhawks. Never mind. We're not arguing these ratings.
So 2.4 seconds longer catch, or longer to get detected, and 1 less frog. Go.
8.5.
6.
9. Why do you say 6? Lee? Explain.
Like, we established that it's not really worth going back there. It's not enough incentive to do.
No,
being in front.
these are just like the rewards.
So
right?
hypothetically, Lee, say
are like
it's
the
worth
permanent-
going back to Big Game Hunter.
Oh, okay. You're saying like big game hunter. Okay, yeah. Let's say big game hunter is like efficient to do. What would you rate that as?
Like about 8, then if it's significant, like 2.4 seconds can be quite a lot. 4 ticks, longer you can build. And
Yeah, it's quite a lot for triples.
It's
For a second, I thought Lee was saying, I never need 2.4 extra seconds.
he's just
0
that
out
good.
of 10.
I wonder what the consistency of triples is like when if you have the 2.4 seconds. Actually, I've never thought about it. How long does it? How many ticks is it for a dino to catch you?
5 seconds, somewhere around there, I think.
So it would be like 9 ticks.
Are you sure?
It's probably 10 ticks. It's probably 6 seconds.
It's probably 10
because
ticks. Yeah.
So
I
this
think it's
adds
10 4
ticks.
ticks. That's 40%. That's pretty significant. Okay. 6% damage on Anachronia and Slayer Helm effect. Let's just say Slayer Helm effect because the damage increase is just
7.5.
really.
5.
You say 5?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I would say 5 as well. Skill Cape perk.
5.
9.
9.
Yeah.
4. Why do you say 9?
You have another perk to choose. Like, you don't have to keep changing every time. Like, now I can use range, other thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I completely
They
forgot about
changed, they
yeah.
changed the range perk.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. But is okay? I brought up HP perk and people lost their minds. Is HP perk really that good? And if so, why?
I like it so that I don't have to turn Fortitude on, since I don't have both my action bar for Fortitude.
Fortitude is the only thing. That's
a deal breaker for me.
deal breaker.
or
because
deal
that's
maker.
the reason you can't have the range perk on your cave, and that's like literally that reason alone is what makes it a 9 for you.
It's a deal breaker.
Okay, I mean, I forgot about range perk honestly, so I'd probably up it to like a 7 or an
See,
8.
I remembered range perk, but the everyman is just gonna slap defense or invention on it and never touch it again. I think it could be more imaginative than that. I think a lot of them could be more imaginative, but that's why I
think
gave
so
that
too.
one a
Now
lower
that I
rating.
think about it, and the last one in the quickfire ratings, shops. We obviously don't know what the last tier of town hall will introduce, but what do you guys think of the armor and weapon shops and the?
Well, before they removed the meat, it was like a 9.5 out of 10 because it meant you'd never have to do T1 dinos. It did mean you'd have another daily, but I like dailies, so I would have given it a 9.75 with the meat. Without the meat, it's like a 9.75. Without the meat, it's like a. I don't want to give anything a 0 because we don't know what the T3 would be, but it's absolutely useless to me.
The armor.
100% useless.
Sorry, go on, Lee.
I will give it like something like 2 so far without the meats and without the tier 3 because it has incredibly low stock and it's not cheap. Like it's quite expensive comparing to the others, so it's not really worth even Iron Man.
Is it not worth for Iron Man? I obviously don't do any kind of theory crafting around Iron Man, but how good are the shops for Iron Man?
I believe
Like, do
it's
they-
worse than Warhawk and Falador.
Than white armor in Falador?
Yeah,
Really?
like it's super expensive.
Yeah, I knew it was expensive, but I always thought that Iron Man at like a high level money doesn't become an issue anymore because of I actually don't know. Okay, how do Iron Man do construction? Do they do it through machine? No, I actually don't know. How do Iron Man do construction? Any Iron Man in here? Any inferior human beings in here that play Iron Man?
Yeah, apparently it is machines.
Machines?
Yeah.
Really? Because I thought the time that it takes to get charges would make it not good. Okay. Well, do we have anything else to say on the base camp?
Yeah, expand it.
Expand. Okay. I mean, yeah, what we talked about, right? There's nothing more to add.
Well, they can either add rewards after, right, for the same set of currency, or they could add gameplay mechanics. Like, hypothetically, say they were to add an archaeology skill, you could send your workers to explore ruins to get you resources for archaeology. But
wait,
anyway, continue.
All right,
let's keep going.
So, next topic is Slayer. So, again, in chat, if you guys aren't looking at the numbers, exclamation point loot stats to look at the Slayer XP rates. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, these numbers are something interesting to look at. So if you go halfway down the page, chat, on that Google Docs, you'll see the numbers. And I've even included the HP per XP ratio, which is again a interesting numbers. It's like, how the hell did they... Okay, let me just ask a very broad question. How do you think they figure out the HP per XP? Go.
Random number generator.
Lee, what do you think?
Yeah, let's say that.
The random number generator? Yeah, I mean, look at the HP per XP on Ripper Dinosaurs, for example. 36.2 for combat. Like, and then Liverworts is 20.2. It's like, what the hell? Like, how? Did we talk about this? you just
you really want to? You're like at a loss for words already.
I just hate looking at these numbers because they trigger me. Okay, so let's just get back to the specifics, right? New Slayer Masters and clusters. Oh, new Slayer Master and the introduction of clusters. Go, Gunnar.
So I am very biased in that I only wish to do Rune Dragon tasks. And
wait, I don't mute someone on Discord.
And I can spend 3 times as long doing Rune Dragons because the clusters are double the length. So I like it, but we don't know until the weightings for the tasks are out how much better she is than Morvrin.
Not really looking at how much better, just the idea. What do you think?
No, the idea is good. We've needed a new Slayer Master.
Do you think there are enough clusters?
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you think the weightings of the clusters should be higher than the specific tasks?
Yes. If she's going to be a cluster Slayer Master, they should be higher.
What do you think?
And they might be.
I initially thought, by the way, that it was going to be clusters and you couldn't skip. So it's going to be clusters only, right? But you couldn't skip. That's what I thought.
As a 5.4, by the way, going for Kessie, I would not like that.
What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of clusters. Like, it gives you much more choice to go with, but that isn't necessarily a good thing. Like, I don't like new Slayer that you just do the same 5 tasks all over. I like when I was going for the 200 mil, I like the variety of it.
Yeah.
Doing different tasks every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about the idea of, like, you guys know about my idea where if you do the same task back to back, you get punished for it. Then, for example, if you do like Abyssal Demon, then you do Abyssal Demon again, you get like 50% reduced XP.
Or if you do another task and then back to Abyssal Demons, you still get like 70% XP.
So
like there should be like 3 or 4.
You interrupted me. So
I was excited. I like the idea.
So you do Abyssal Demons and you do Abyssal Demons again, you get 50% reduction. If you do one task in between, you get 40%, then 2 tasks 30%, etc., etc. So this would make it so you have to actually make decisions when doing tasks. You can't just go back and do the 5 tasks over and over again. You can't go in for mask dailies only. But okay, people will be upset like, oh my god, but reduce the XP per... Just raise the base XP of every Slayer XP drop by X% to make it average the same, right? All this will do is make people have to make decisions, right? Right now, Slayer is just like prefer. You block anything, all the like the highest weightings that you don't do, and you cancel anything that isn't on your prefer. There's no decision.
What is it with Lanayakea? It's you prefer Ripper Demons, Demon Cluster, Gemstone Dragons, Dragon Cluster, and you can basically just do those every single task, and it will take you like 300 tasks or less to 200 mil. It's insane.
Yeah, there's no variety, but that's a completely different topic. That's talking about Slayer as a whole. So let's talk about the big boy, XP rates. You guys looking at the numbers? Do you guys have it up?
Yeah, I see the numbers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, wait, who wants to start on this? Because I don't.
Lee wants to start.
Lee, go for it, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of low compared to the old days Slayer rates. Like Slayer on average is above 1 mil per hour, and all the new Slayer masters are half of that. So it's way below optimal rate. And considering monsters are harder than most of Slayer creatures, it's underwhelming.
So, yeah, I mean, the GP rates, by the way, of Ripper Dinos is arguably less than a lot of the other ones as well. I don't know if I did a bit.
Super weird.
It's and the dinosaurs drop the melee boots, which is less valuable than the mage boots that the plants drop as well, right? So I'm almost. I mean, obviously, I haven't done enough numbers to figure out the average GP rates of these creatures, but I would assume that what are they called? Vile was the
Blooms?
Blooms are like much better GP per hour, as well as in some cases.
Well, Blast Diffusion are almost 100 mil, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so explain Ripper Dinosaur XP rates. Go.
I can't. I honestly have nothing to say about those.
I'm gonna look at Twitch chat. Can you explain Ripper Dinosaur XP rates? Go. I will mod anyone that gives me a good enough answer.
Okay, they forgot to add a 0.
That might be a little. 10 times the XP might be a little fast.
Yeah, 10 times might be. It's just they must have. I don't know. It's like do you like if do you think if I confront a JMod about this, they'll like justify it somehow? Or do you think that they would actually tweak it?
No, I told you it's RNG. Like they.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
One person tests how many they can kill an hour. They compare it to the average of all players training Slayer on their level 105. Killing gargoyles, AFKing for 3 minutes at a time, and they say, "Oh yeah, that's probably good."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I know what you mean. I just don't understand how they come up with the HP per XP numbers. Because ever since EOC, the most interesting number to look at whenever a Slayer monster is released is the HP per XP. Like how much HP it has per like Slayer XP.
Yep.
Because if you look at this, Ripper Dinosaurs are 33.1 HP per XP, and then you go to the next one, which is Liverworts, 17.3. That's nearly
theoretically double. That should go down as you go as you go from low level to high. It should go down.
I'd prefer it being
but just for your chat.
I would prefer if it was like difficulty. As difficulty. I mean, you would want the difficulty to go up as the Slayer level goes up as well. But generally, it should be like the more difficult it is, the more XP you're getting per HP.
Yep. Which they try to do with the elite mobs, right? With Rippers, Wyverns, Mammoths, and Camels. They tried to make more difficult monsters that gave better XP, and they did. They all give insane XP, but
I mean,
not compared to like Moss Golems or Gemstone Dragons or Ripper Demons. Ripper Demons are the best out of the elites, but I just don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they thought that Laceration boots and Blast Diffusion boots would make up for the lesser XP by being more GP.
You think the melee? I would assume, if I had to guess, they thought that the melee boots would cost more than the mage boots, right?
Yeah, because so Bladed
That's what
Dive
they
puts
thought.
itself off cooldown if you kill something. So what they're thinking is you would put Bladed Dive in a rotation and you would just spam Bladed Dive
I mean,
with a scythe.
Blade Dive is not a bad ability in some
It's not.
circumstances.
It's not.
Also, I
But
think
they were
someone said
thinking it
that
was
if
more
you use a
useful than it
scythe,
was.
if you use a scythe,
You get halberd range. Yeah.
you get halberd
Yeah.
range with the Blade Dive, which isn't bad. And a lot of, like, I think Edimu's its Blade Dive is really good, right?
Yep.
Because you just like Blade Dive, reset, Blade Dive, reset, Blade Dive, reset. And obviously with the scythe range also makes it a lot better. But it definitely isn't, I mean, players instantly realized that the mage boots were just much more valuable than the melee boots. But I think that JX think that the melee boots were more valuable because they gave it to the dinosaurs rather than the vile blooms. Also, like, let's say like they thought vile blooms are individual, right? You can't stack them in any way. If you compared Ripper dinosaurs to venomous dinosaurs, it's still like incomparable in terms of HP per XP. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I just want to ask them why.
It's possible that there were other rewards too, you know, and we just don't necessarily know what was taken out at the last minute. Like the poisonous frogs were a low-level Slayer task up until like a week before release. So there's things that they take out like close to the end. You just don't know but the problem is if they don't make the requisite changes after the content is, you know, removed or added, that's where we see an issue. And that issue is after people get their souls from dinos and vile blooms, I don't foresee a lot of people doing them.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because Anachronia looks awesome.
Yeah.
The vile blooms look
the
awesome.
monsters look awesome. All like 100%. One thing I want to talk about is gameplay. Lee, do you want to go first? What do you think of the gameplay of these Slayer mobs compared to the rest of the Slayer mobs around Gillinor?
Not really challenging. Most of them are just single target DPS as much as you can to stop them from specking.
A lot of the specs are also not very harsh. Like the feral dinosaur spec, I was talking to you about it. Like the feral dinosaur spec, I'm pretty sure does more damage than the Ripper dinosaur. And the feral dinosaur is like really low level as well. I think it hits you 4 700s through prayer, like melee hits, and it's like my issue is that in comparison to Elite Slayer mobs, they don't have a distinct or unique mechanic that is very engaging. And the other issue I have is that there's no real way of increasing your XP rates through effort in terms of like stacking them or like the example that I would always use is that Sophanum Slayer dungeon where you can increase the damage taken and increase damage done and you can stack them. Like there's a lot of risk.
You mean the corruption and the stat? Yeah,
there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of effort, but it rewards you, right? You can single target them. I'm not saying that everything should be like high intensity and high intensity only. I'm saying there should be an option, right? Like Sophanum dungeon, you can single target them if you want, but there's the option to have your corruption stack max and aggro pot and take them all at the same time. Whereas with this,
I mean, it's just inconsistent though. It's inconsistent with recent content. Like if you look at Lost Grove is phenomenal Slayer per hour at Moss Golems. Whether you scythe them or you mage them, it's phenomenal. And then the elite monsters we just talked about, as well as gemstone dragons, which if you chain, you can get like close to 2 mil, right? Slayer an hour. It's insane. So I just don't know why they looked at these dinosaurs, said 70,000 HP is probably appropriate, and then they gave them the Slayer XP per kill that they have. Like the island is so huge. If you want people to travel around, you got to make it worth the while. Yeah. And right now, it's not.
So what do you think about the gameplay, Lee? Did I ask you already? Actually, I don't remember.
He said they're DPS dummies.
Yeah, I mean, they're just. I mean, just. I don't know.
It could be much more imaginative.
I just compare it to Elite Slayer mobs and Sophanum Dungeon, and I just.
Yeah. Look at camels. I'm not saying camels are the
I think-
coolest
I
task
think
in the
camels
game,
are
but they're
actually good.
imaginative.
I think
they're
camels are. I like camels after they've made the transition a lot faster. I
Yeah,
like camels. I like all the Elite Slayer mobs. I love them to bits. But
Did they fix mammoth animation yet?
no.
No.
Did
That's
they,
coming up though, I think.
did they fix any animation? Animation stalls and cancels are the disease of RuneScape. That would be the next like best quality of life update, honestly. If they just fix all animation stalls and all animation cancels. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. If it were that easy, I think they would.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, but I don't even think that Jace thinks that's an issue, honestly.
yeah.
But yeah. So, sorry, where were we? I kind of. What about the rewards? Sorry. Okay, wait. Before I get, what's your ideal Slayer task? Like in terms of gameplay, gameplay only, no XP rates, no nothing. Just gameplay. What do you enjoy doing the most in terms of Slayer?
Ooh.
Reaper dinos, cannoning them. With
Yeah, I would say
atoms
Ripper
running around.
demons as well.
Yeah, I would actually.
so-
This is supposed to be a controversial podcast, but I
You would say
actually agree.
Yeah. So Ripper dinos have a unique mechanic that requires you to engage and observe, but it also gives you the insane ability to actually AoE them and take them all. This like the skill ceiling at Ripper dinos is pretty damn high, and soloing that, like taking them one by one, is also engaging because of its mechanic. If you guys want to add anything to that for your reason for picking Ripper dinos, Ripper demons.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said Ripper Dinos like 3 times, and I was like,
Did I?
should I correct?
Wait, did I say Ripper dinos? Whoops, I
You
meant
said Ripper Dinos like 3
Oh
times.
my bad, I meant Ripper demons, chat. Okay, I've been having nightmares of Ripper dinos, so I can't help
No,
it.
so anything that keeps you paying attention and rewards higher input is good content, in my opinion. That's why I was, before they changed the Hunter Skill Cape perk, that's why I was so upset with the path they took for Hunter Modernization. And we know why it was, right? Charming moths are easier to do on mobile, but there should always be the opportunity to better your rates by putting in more
I think
effort.
that for the whole game. I think that for everything.
Yeah,
But again,
I agree.
people get the wrong idea, right? People are like, oh my god, elitist. Like, no, I'm fine with there being an AFK method, but there should be a method where I, like, for the same thing, for the same content, where I can put in like 10 times more inputs than you and 10 times more effort and get like, 50%,
20% more. Yeah,
50%
exactly.
more XP rates, right? I just want there to be an option to do more effort equating more reward. That's all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like people who aren't even willing to do it would agree. Like, even casual players would probably be like, yeah, I like that. I like there being options.
So what would you change? What
in terms of the dinos?
In terms of the new Slayer monsters, would it be more gameplay focused? Would it be about the rewards? What changes would you make?
I mean, I haven't thought of anything specifically, but either Sophanum Slayer Dungeon or Elite Slayer mobs. Those are the two like base ideas for Slayer mobs that I really like. What about you two?
Would reduce their HP by a little bit and make their spec come out sooner and more RNG, so they would actually spec
more
it.
RNG.
But most of their specs aren't very engaging, apart from the plant that shoots like 3 green stuff and it blows up.
Yeah.
That's the only one that requires you. The other ones are just more damage, and there's nothing you can do about it, right?
If they telegraph their attacks and there's a way to mitigate them or avoid them,
Yeah, then
that
sure.
makes it more engaging.
What is the brutish dinosaur spec? But I don't understand. I swear
hits
he
you
just
harder.
I swear he just does less DPS when he does the spec. Like he does more DPS not doing the spec. Like, am I missing something? I tried like taking hits purposely without prey, and it's still like it's not that much more than his normal attack. Does anyone know?
No idea.
No?
Maybe it's accurate. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it's maybe it can't miss or something. I don't know, but I was just super confused. I was like, oh, he's speccing. Guess I'm taking less damage. Like, I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about the rewards. So Detto boots, blade dive boots, and blowpipe. Don't forget.
Don't say it with such disgust. Lee, you go first.
Blowpipe, as far as I know, it's like completely useless.
Yep. Filler content,
blade dive
basically.
boots, they're something for casuals, like if you don't want to switch, but you need switch anyway. Like if you're mailing, you have dual wield with you, ideally. But with that, like as a casual, you can just bank it. It's like it's not really useful for the high level players.
Is it useful for any level players?
Don't forget they don't degrade, and
Wait.
some people really like that.
Oh, they don't degrade?
The laceration boots and Detto boots,
No,
neither of
do.
them degrade.
They do.
They do?
Yep.
You have to repair them, don't you?
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Wait,
I thought they didn't
We were
degrade.
talking about blowpipe. Blowpipe degrades, right?
He got through blowpipe and went to boots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, okay. So I was gonna do one at a time.
500k recharge. Okay.
I was gonna do one at a
Alright.
time, but like, is blowpipe ever worth it?
I can't see where it is.
Like
the idea is like if you have to do
no,
a
I'm
lot
not saying
of low
max
hits.
player. I'm saying at any point as a
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So
okay.
like next minions, minions, it's like a budget Eldritch, right? Because
Yeah.
it does double splats but half the damage.
But I
and
feel
there's
someone
a
with
cap.
someone with that amount of money, like that little money, is probably not gonna bother.
Not
bringing
gonna buy a
Switch.
blowpipe. Exactly. Exactly.
So
blowpipe is useless in its current state.
okay, how expensive is it? Because obviously that determines how useful it.
100
How
mil probably.
I
100
haven't seen
mil?
it since it was like 90 mil.
81
Yes.
mil? No one's gonna
Yeah.
buy that for 81 mil.
Yeah. It
Holy
started out
shit.
at like 180, and I saw it at 90
Wait, what's the
a couple
next
days
best
ago.
thing to blowpipe?
Mm.
Wait, what is the next best thing?
What do you mean the next best thing?
Or the next
So-
minions, or
No, I'm not talking about next minute. I'm talking about like if someone just hit 85 range. It's 85 range, right?
Isn't it 87? Upgraded bone blowpipe is like 87.
Oh, is it? Honestly, I've not done
Because
my research on
85,
blowpipe.
85 would be Wyvern crossbow, and 90 would be where you get your Nox and Ascensions.
there's also decimation on 88, I think.
Decimation.
How much
yeah.
is decimation? I'm just curious, like the pricing and like
32.
30 mil. And the thing is that no
Apparently Deci is 40 mil.
40 mil.
Yeah.
I don't know how common they are as well. How often they're coming into the economy with the bounty hunter removal as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, if the blowpipe obviously goes down in price, which I don't know if it will.
It can be an
because-
okay budget option. Yeah.
because no one's gonna be. I mean, actually, they might because the Vile Blooms drop the Detto boots, and the Vile Blooms are what drops the blowpipe, right? The Dinos don't drop the blowpipe, right?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, all
Okay.
that stuff.
So, blowpipe potentially useful at some point if it drops enough, right? So like it has to go down to like 20 mil for someone to buy it, 20, 30 mil.
Yeah, it could be useful. For low
Dinos
end.
apparently drop them as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wait.
But it doesn't matter. It
Wait,
doesn't really matter.
do dinos exclusively drop the blowpipe, or do they drop
Yeah,
the blowpipe
dinos
as
drop
well? Oh, it's just
Just
dinos.
dinos.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, I didn't know
So
that.
maybe they did know that the blast diffusion boots would be the more valuable. Because that's all they gave to the
at the same
the
time
flora.
they would think that the blowpipe would hold value after a couple of months, which I don't think it will.
Yeah. So I don't know, but to speak to them kind of in order. Where do you want to go, Omid?
So I was gonna say that I think blade dive boots are fine, right? I think they're not broken and they're also not useless, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
We have
But-
a use.
Well, what do you guys think about? So I think we would agree on that, right? So we don't really need to talk about that much. But what about Detto boots? Do you guys think Detto boots is too strong? Not niche enough?
It's
Probably.
so it's tough. They might be too strong because Detto already had a use. Like Detto already had a niche. right? You Detto to start kills, you Detto to free tendrils, I guess. I don't know, I don't do Telos. But you use Detto already. There were other things that they could pick to strengthen. They're very good. They're very good. And save for using Hailfires, right? Save for using Hailfires. What else are you going to use if you're a high tier PVMer? I think they're very good. I wouldn't see them nerfed because I think they give value to the Vile Blooms.
Has the Detto boots like made Detto part of the traditional single target DPS or no? Because I've not actually looked at that. I think
I believe
I watched Evil Lucario's video, and it seems like they should be, but then he had some other comments I saw on Twitter that were saying, maybe it doesn't have the same average, damage as a flanking deep impact. So I think it's still up in the air, but it's probably, if not slightly better, then it's definitely not any worse.
I'm pretty sure it's higher damage than flanking deep impact, because flanking, one thing that people might not know about flanking is that it doesn't actually increase your minimum damage. Your minimum damage is still the base, even though your maximum like most of the time when you gain any kind of damage modifier, both your minimum damage and your maximum damage is increased. But with flanking, it's not.
It's just your max,
and also Detonate has a specified minimum damage, which is also something that should be taken into consideration, because
also it's an AOE.
I'm just talking about
the main advantage.
I'm mainly talking
just for
about single target.
Yeah.
So it has a specified minimum damage, which a lot of people will overlook, but it usually makes it very, very a lot stronger. That's the reason why Snipe is so goddamn strong.
So despite the waffling we saw with regards to it being better, apparently I'm being told it is better than flanking deep impact. So it took an ability that was niche and made it ubiquitous. I don't think that's necessarily the goal. I'd rather see them take underutilized abilities and make them niche, make them really good for a couple things. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say they're overpowered, right? Because that you sacrifice some magic damage by switching from Hailfires to the Detto boots, but you get a quicker charging Detonate, and so a better Sunshine rotation. So I don't think they're overpowered. I do think they will stay expensive for a long time, and if that was the idea, then they'll do that, I think.
The reason I would lean towards overpowered was because I think if something that is intended to be niche becomes universal,
that is what ubiquitous means.
Cinderbanes. I would consider Cinderbanes overpowered, just because they're best in slot for mage. The hybrid.
That's because they're hybrid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that is overpowered. I wouldn't lean towards overpowered for Detto boots, but I just prefer it being niche rather than just becoming essentially the overall best boots.
You're supposed to argue with me, Omid. You're supposed to tell me why I'm wrong and I'm dumb and I don't know anything.
You're dumb and you don't know anything. What do you think, Lee? Do you think?
I think they're a little bit too strong. Currently they are meta tiers everywhere. Almost best in slot, and with their unique effect. They should have higher repair cost. That will be a good way to utilize it, to make it more expensive, on par with Hillfires.
Or make them repairable with dino scales, because dino scales are worth 110 each right now.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the effect should have been something else? Because I was just thinking about this. Is what if they? I just don't want Detto to be. I think Detto is becoming. Is Detto being a really good DPS single target a good thing or a bad thing? Is Detto being stronger than flanking deep impact a good thing or a bad thing?
It's not a good. I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. It should stay as AoE ability.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they could, one thing they could do is maybe for every target hit, you get increased damage.
That would be interesting. So you're
I mean,
encouraged
obviously
to
you're
use
probably
it in
hitting
AoE
cap a
situations.
lot of the time, but you're basically enhancing the AoE effect. Or maybe increase the area of the detonate.
That would be interesting. So it's like a 5x5?
These
Or
would
7x7?
Yeah, like these would still make it, you know, niche, but it just enhance the effect of Detto without making it just completely universal.
So somebody made a comment though. If you're not used to like timing like your manual activation abilities, like a lot of people who just purely Revo aren't going to use these, obviously. So
How does Detto
there is a
work on
place for
Revo?
it. It doesn't.
Oh wait, you Detto and you
have
don't.
to
You don't
specify.
wait, what happened?
You
Hello.
you have to set the charge here. I'll move it into my Revo right now. Let's see if it does anything. Anyway,
Yeah,
keep
I
going.
think
It doesn't do
works by
anything?
itself.
I don't think it does. I think it just goes off and does nothing.
Wait, so you just Detto and then your Revo gets stuck, or does it just use an ability?
Hold
Like,
on.
what
I'm,
happens?
I'm watching it right now.
It doesn't activate it.
It just skips to the second slot in your rotation. So I
Oh.
put it in, yeah. So it doesn't
Okay.
work with Revo, period. So
Got
in that way,
the
it does
Revo
make you
expert
think.
here on
It does,
the
yeah.
detective work.
Revo plus master.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just skips it. So Omid, we've got a little bit of an issue because the last two podcasts we talked about how slow power creep has been and how
we're
we
not
need
good.
progress.
We're not good.
And now we're like, no, but Ditto boots are too good.
I just think that, like I said, the two effects that I said was like, it does more damage for every target hit or increases the area of detonate. Like these still keep it niche, but this just makes
Yeah.
it good.
They
single
could have
target
picked
DPS.
a more underutilized ability because Ditto you still preloaded most of your boss kills with, and you used it for when you needed a lot of DPS at once. So
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it could have been better. That's all. It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have stayed like really niche. Because if you did like okay, how about this, right? Just to make it good enough. Like, what if it does more damage for each target hit by what's a fully charged detonate max hit? I forgot.
300.
350.
350. All right. For every target hit, 15% increased damage, and it exceeds the hit cap. Boom.
That's really strong.
Yeah, but only for like
Yeah, I
hitting
guess,
a ton of
I guess.
targets. It would just
Yeah,
enhance
yeah.
its niche effect.
Yeah.
Its niche usability. I don't know.
How many abyssal demons can one person kill at a time?
I mean, like, I don't know.
Anyway, I don't think it's overpowered. I think they want to look more at underutilized ability. Like, remember Dazing Shot, to mutated Dazing Shot? That's good. And they should continue that. But there's a reason Blast Boots are almost 100 mil. And it's because they're really freaking good.
Yeah, people are saying like AOD minions and fonting. Yeah, obviously it'll be good for that, but it'll stop it being just good single target DPS. Like right now, with how it is, it's just good to use it a lot of the time.
Well, what does Blast Diffusion mean, right?
What are you saying right now?
No, so if their idea is to change what the ability is used, so
I
detonate
I'm not
was
someone
meant
who
to be an
cares about the
AoE
name.
niche. So whatever.
I'm sorry, I gotta shoot you down that one.
We're not getting. Yeah, fine.
I can't let you have.
I concede.
I can't
I
have
concede.
you go on that one. Okay,
All right.
so let's move on to. This is probably gonna be a quick one. Herby Werby.
No, it's not going to be quick. I've got a lot to say.
Really?
Lee,
What
you
the
first.
Fuck?
Uh,
How the fuck are you? I thought this was gonna be like a minute long. So no time limit, but there's a decent amount of room for effort. Should they develop updates with Blade Dive in mind in terms of cash and Herby Werby? And what do you guys think of the rewards? Quite a loaded question there, but
I disagree with being able to use Bladed Dive, like being catering to it, because you can still use
wait, can you? Sorry, can you come close to the mic? You're like cutting out. It's quiet.
Yeah. You can still use Bladed Dive here and at Cache pretty well with Yune equipping stuff.
Yeah.
Or even taking Bronze Halberd and equipping it and pressing its keybind twice to unequip after. So it's not really that you can't use it. It's
No. So Omid's question was, should they develop content around bladed dive and surge, and should they even allow it to be used in there?
No, he is answering my question. Like, I'm not necessarily against it, right? But the idea of having to bring a switch of like a trash tier weapon just for that reason, because with invention weapons you can't unequip them, is that good gameplay? Or that's basically what's asking.
It sounds like it's a tangent. It sounds like it's a tangential issue though, and that's that you can't unequip augmented weapons with the.
I mean, it's a good thing that you can't unequip it. Honestly, I like I said, don't necessarily disagree. I just wanted to hear what you guys thought of on that. Like, do you basically? What I'm asking is that should you be able to pick up cash, jars,
the memories and the corrupted herbs
with a weapon, or do you think that the way it is right now is good, where you have to bring it kind of involves a different mechanic where you have to unequip after doing a blade dive?
I'm fine with it requiring.
I'm fine with it as well.
Specialized gameplay.
I prefer it like that.
Okay.
Because actually, how I did it was clicking items from your worn equipment, so unequipping it by clicking on them from worn equipment.
Gotcha.
And it's like fun to do it differently.
Yeah, it involves a different mechanic.
Play style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely think they should design content with mobility abilities in mind, though,
100%.
Because otherwise it makes it just surge one way, bladed dive the other way. Surge one, like cash is like that now. The agility course is a good example of the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can get really inventive with it. Herby Werby and Cash are kind of just like back forth. Yeah,
you're right.
Cash, at least the automatons will smack your shit if you get near them.
Yeah,
Herby Werby
is a lot
there's
more
really
casual.
it's much more casual.
Again, I think most of us agree on the point that it's fine for there to be casual ways of doing things, but there should be always increased effort equating increased reward, right? We all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure. All right, so what about rewards? What is this essay you cropped up for us on this? Gonna go for it.
All right. It's a missed opportunity, Herby Werby. All right. I'm not saying it can't be salvaged, but adding something that takes 5 weeks to complete with weekly reset tokens, and then the average player will never go back again, is not a good use of dev time. I think there's an opportunity to add so much stuff here in consumables and ways for lower level players to make money by selling these things to higher level players. It's just upsetting to see that they were like, all right, let's just put 2 pieces of totem there. We'll add a pet. And then if they want to spend their points after that, we'll put some small lamps in there for herb lore and fire making.
The lamps are really underwhelming.
There's so many more things they could do with it.
All right, so give us your top idea. One idea, your best one, because I don't really have anything to say on this, really.
That's really tough.
What do you mean tough? How many ideas do you have?
That's really tough. No, so I'm gonna appease you.
How many ideas do you have?
I'm gonna appease you. All right. Remember how you said you wanted a variant of the vile blooms to be farmable? What if you had a corrupted compost and you used it with the spot where you plant the vile blooms, and it made it give much more Slayer XP, better drops, and that's it. But you could buy it with, say, 25 Herby Werby tokens, and it lasted 100 kills or something like that. So that way you get 4 tasks worth a week.
I like that. I never thought I'd say it, but I like that idea, Gunnar.
Okay.
What do you think, Lee, of his idea?
Yeah, it sounds pretty nice.
What if you could have like different like mutations of compost? Like one of them makes it do like.
I mean, go wild. Go wild.
One of them
Anything
does
is better
like
than just lamps.
one of them does like 100% more damage and like 50% more XP, like 200% more damage and 50% more XP.
That's fine. I mean, so mutations are one thing. My main gripe is that there's no imagination, right? Like, obviously the pet is there. Everybody has.
Wait, the
200
pet is
pets.
imagination?
No, the
Oh,
pet
okay.
is not imaginative.
Okay.
Everybody has like 200 pets that
I thought you were
most
saying
people
like
don't
the
even
pet
bother
is,
anymore.
but nothing else is.
No, none of it's imaginative. We could get into the Hunter Marks store as well. It's the same thing. What is the incentive for getting more Hunter
I
Marks
skipped
after
the
the
Hunter
titles?
Marks
But
store.
anyway,
Whoops.
I've got plenty of ideas for the base camp, the Hunter Marks, and Herby Werby, but Herby Werby is the biggest offender out of all of them. You have weekly reset. Somebody said, "Oh, but you use your weekly resets on Wisps of the Grove because Vinny takes like a year to get." I already have Vinny.
Shut up.
Oh, you're still going for it, Omid. That's interesting. Anyway, so they definitely need to add more in terms of uses for the Herby Werby points. Otherwise, it's dead content. In like 2 weeks, it's dead content because we got to use that extra reset token week 1. So, I don't know.
Sorry. What do you guys think about? So one thing that I is kind of obvious to me, their intention is they don't want to make dailies and they don't want you to have to go back to content and tend to it. Herby Werby base camp. Thoughts?
I don't like it.
What do people think of it? Obviously they've been saying it, but do they like the results? Like, do you like having to go back to ports to farm and make decisions on resources and make constant use out of it, or do you prefer base camp where you just very idle, very linear, and once you're done with it, you never go back again? I don't know, but I mean, I know what I want, but I just don't know what the community actually wants. Obviously, a lot of times
I'm curious what your chat has to say about content that is done forever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I feel like people will vocalize things and they end up getting it, and they're like, "Well, we don't like this anymore." What do you think, Lee?
I like dailies actually. Like,
okay, that's controversial.
Whoa! Calm down, dude.
Yeah,
Can't
like
be
I
saying that on
wish
here.
they made Herby Werby actually like good XP. Like it wouldn't not game breaking, but something like cash for her blowers.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Overload's XP per hour, so they could make it quite a bit better. But yeah, I don't know. So the good thing about ports, Omid, is that it gets easier the more you learn about it, right? There's more advanced strategy. Like once you, well, I'm not even going to get into the point that you can keep trio missions sent out forever.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with ports.
I don't like that because I didn't figure that out until after I had finished ports.
Oh, really?
So I have 3 duos out. So I have 3 duos out, and I bone farm as best as humanly possible. But it's so good in that it starts out wide open. And obviously there's a meta, right? And as you learn more and more about ports and the mechanics and the type of upgrades, you get better. Like your shipyard gets better and your crew gets better,
and your knowledge gets better.
And yeah, exactly. So you're able to do things more quickly. Base camp, it's just like it took people 5 minutes to figure out. More workers is OP. What do you need for more workers?
You need the storage. What do you need for storage? You need town hall. Well, guess we figured it out. It was actually fun. Dude, it took a very, very fucking long time to figure out ports like down to the T.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like theory crafting, there's a lot of like decision making to go through.
It took so much effort that the guide writer is an NPC in the game, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So
what do you think, Lee, on this topic?
Yeah, they could add some different stuff to the base camp, like morale or something like that.
Morale?
To make it work. Yeah, like build something for the workers, for them to work better.
Okay.
Lee's trying to add some HR. He's offended with the working conditions.
I mean, they're
working 24
work like
hours
slaves.
a day. Yeah, 24 hours a day.
And the funny thing is, once you're done with the base camp, you're gonna keep them working. They're not gonna be.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep. Well, no, because you've got a max. You've got a resource cap. Once they get all the resources, they get to go home. They get to go home. You've got no consumables.
Even once my fucking resources are capped, I'm gonna 60 out of 60 them bitches. They're gonna keep fucking working.
Yeah, and watch the resources.
I'm telling you, they add a consumable. Most of my it will still be linear, right? But at least it won't be just bing bang boom, no base camp ever again.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what I want. I know what you guys want. You know, I want a reason to go back. I want decision making, but yeah, it's just people don't like dailies, and people want to be done with something and never have to come back. Well, that's what it seems like. I don't know if they actually want that. I don't know. I'm really curious what people think. Like, I want to know what their opinion of whatchamacallit, ports versus base camp.
A lot of people said ports was superior.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason I do these podcasts, the reason I talk about things on my stream is to, you know, inform people and have people vocalize their opinions, you know? Like, let JX know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, that's very important, right? Because as we've seen, it can be one Reddit post that changes the way major content works. Like, 2 Reddit posts came out immediately after we were able to build the town hall, right? That gave us access to the general store. And immediately the response was, we didn't expect the meat to be this price. We'll let you know. And then the next morning, they had removed it from the store. And all it took was 2 complaints. So definitely make your opinions known, because otherwise less informed people will make their opinions known.
Yeah.
So
we're going to move on, right? We're good to move on?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right, before we move on though, we're going to have another ad. Did we play the first ad again? The chat loved it. It took me like 5 minutes to make. I'll play it again for you guys, all right?
Yeah, it's 30 seconds anyway.
Here we go. So I'm going to play 2 ads this time rather than 1. All right, you guys ready? Mute your mics.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this awesome podcast, but I have some important information that you might want to know about.
Head over to iTrollU's merch store now. Get your own ceramic mug that is not only microwave safe, but also dishwasher safe, which means you don't XP waste washing it. Get your own fashionable t-shirt only weighing at a light 153 grams, allowing you to skate with free movement for days. Lastly, feel the heat with this sexy bikini, made from 82% polyester and 18% materials you don't need to know. It even has a self-described cheeky fit.
Click on the subscribe button. Don't smash it, okay? Don't smash it! Click on the subscribe button above the stream. See if you have a Twitch Prime sub available. Just check. Just give it a little gander. Just see if you have a Twitch Prime. Because guess what? If it's your first time ever creating a Twitch account, you have a free 1-month Twitch Prime trial. Also,
wait, did I do it? Did I cancel it early? Wait, I think I just... Fuck.
Omid, you ruined it.
Click on the subscribe button. Don't smash it, okay? Don't smash it! Click on the subscribe button above the stream. See if you have a Twitch Prime sub available. Just check. Just give it a little gander. Just see if you have a Twitch Prime. Because guess what? If it's your first time ever creating a Twitch account, you have a free 1-month Twitch Prime trial. Also, if you have an Amazon Prime account, or anyone in your family has an Amazon Prime account, you can take that Amazon Prime account, log in with your Twitch, log in with that, and link your Amazon Prime account. Get Twitch Prime for free.
We're back. Twitch Prime, guys. What an amazing feature of Twitch. Alright. So, our next topic of the Land Out of Time podcast is going to be Miscellaneous. So, I'm going to start with a quick fire ratings.
What?
So I'm gonna give you guys a description of each totem, and you guys are gonna give me a rating out of 10. Ready?
Hold on, let me unbutton one of my...
Jeez, wait, that's TOS, isn't it?
I don't think so, not anymore.
Whoa, dude! What the hell is that? You keep the Amazon jungle down there?
I do.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta move.
You wanna
it's gonna be a down
anything,
blouse.
Lee?
I gotta move up a little bit.
Lee, you wanna unbutton
Yeah?
anything?
He doesn't have buttons.
Yeah, sure.
Why are you mocking the man?
Alright, here we go. Totem of Intimidation. Removes kill count requirement at God Wars dungeon. Gunner.
6.
Lee.
8.
I would say 8. Why do you give it such a low rating, Gunner?
Because I never needed it because of soulstones.
But I think it's a high
And
rating.
I'm looking
okay,
at it for
you're
the
looking at it
average
from
player.
an unbiased perspective, not just
I
your-
know. That's why I give it a 6. If I were looking at it from my perspective, it's a 0.
It's such an old piece of content that it should just like become a lot easier to access.
But hard. So here's the thing: most people can do hard mode for all of the bosses who are going for like any significant amount of KC.
No, most people that
Unless-
are doing bandos and stuff aren't doing hard mode, dude. I would say there's
But
way
why?
more people doing normal mode than hard mode.
If you can camp normal too, you can also use the soulstone. You just got to stay for a hell of a long time. Anyway, I think it's limited use compared to some of the others, so that's why I would say it's a 6.
Okay. Totem of Navigation. Ships in player-owned ports. Port voyage times reduced by 15%. Gunner.
3 out of 10.
Lee.
7.
8. Gunner, why 3?
It's absolutely useless until they add journeys that take longer than the current region. There's only a couple useful voyages you can send out per day, so it doesn't really matter how long they
I think
are.
you're
As long
looking
as
at it from
they're-
your perspective again.
As
For
long
most
as they-
people, it's much more convenient. I mean, I think it should be more than 50. Actually, I'll probably reduce my rating a bit because 15% probably isn't high enough. Because again, it's the
if
whole
it were
mentality of like,
rebalanced,
it's the whole mentality of like ports has kind of become less and less useful, so it's fine for it to get faster, right?
right? So here's the thing: end game ports, it doesn't make a difference. If you're doing early game ports, it's pretty good. So
Wait,
what?
surely it should be the other way around. Am I confused?
But it's not.
Explain.
Listen to what I'm saying
Transmit.
though. You never get more than 2 bones missions a day. You can already do those 2 bones missions.
Woody,
between
I'm
one
talking about
reset and the
people who
next.
just started ports and are wanting to.
Right,
I'm not
so am I. That's who it's good for. It's good for the people who have just
Oh,
started.
okay.
And it's no good for people who have finished.
Yeah, but like, okay, again, looking at it from one value to the other, how many people do you think are spending time and effort going through the ports levels, and how many people do you think are spending time and effort on just farming bones? Obviously, one is way.
Hypothetically, the first population is way bigger.
I'm just talking about time spent, not populate. Like the amount of time spent on it. Obviously,
You spend much more time with the ladder.
right?
Like
so-
I did, yeah. So you'd be doing ports for bones for years after taking the 6 months it takes to finish ports. I just don't think it's that useful overall.
I'm just saying, with content that's been out for such a long time and is locked by time, it's fine to make it a lot faster.
I agree. I just don't think it's that useful relative to other totems.
You're such a little bitch. All right, next one.
Are you using Omid? Are you using that totem? Do you have it built?
No, I'm just saying it's
Okay,
good that
alright.
they're making these like time locked pieces of content faster that are just not as relevant as they used to be when they were released. That's all. You know,
All right.
like saying the God Wars dungeon. You know, it's anyways, totem of auras. Cooldown of auras are 15% shorter. Go.
7.8.
Hey, wait. Why 0.8? 1 second, please.
Because it's not quite an 8, but it's above a 7.5, but not quite an 8.
You trigger me.
I
Lee,
can't go I would have said 7.75, but you'd be pissed at me for going too many decimals.
Lee, what's your rating?
Yeah, I'll give it 2.
A 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it like a 3. Let me go first before you go, Gunnar.
Sure.
I don't think this totem of aura will actually make you play any differently. If you're going to wait for your aura, you're going to wait regardless. If you're going to refresh aura, you're going to refresh regardless. And the amount of time that is saved through waiting isn't significant enough for people to change how they play.
Do you want me to counter that?
I mean, you can try.
It changes how I play. So remember how we were remember how we were talking about the T3 dinos going on cooldown and you being able to do it in less than an hour? Guess when I restart that hour? When my aura's off cooldown.
I need a new co-host. Applications are open. DM me. Omid hashtag
So
0001.
it definitely will change how some people play. So yeah.
I definitely disagree.
You go do something else while some of your auras are
That's
recharging.
not how most people play, though. And especially, like, for example, let's take into consideration a team boss, especially, like, if...
Okay, yes, for team bosses, it's a 1 out of 10, if that.
Even solo bosses, it's not gonna...
See, you can... Once your Maniacal's on cooldown, you go do something where you use Reckless. Once your Reckless is on cooldown, you go do something that uses
You know,
Zerker.
not many people play like that. Do
People
you play
are...
like that, Lee?
I think a lot of people use aura rotations.
Lee, do you play like that?
Not really. Sometimes I utilized auras a bit, like not at Angel of Death, especially where you use all 3 auras, so you prioritize doing roles that you have aura available for.
Most people have heard that AOD don't like switching, though. Even though that is the right thing to do, most people don't like it. I would say most people
I
would...
did everything.
Huh?
When I did AOD, I did everything, whatever aura was on.
Yeah, but that's you know. You're
Yeah.
basically a PVM god. I'm talking about, like, like most AODers just want to do one style because that's what they're comfortable with and that's what they enjoy. I don't know. I just think...
Possible.
Alright, it's useful for me, for my legendary Lumberjack, to get the vines and logs quicker for Big Game Hunter. And it changes when I go back to Big Game Hunter.
They're looking into success rate. So
I know. I kind of want them to... I like auras. So I don't... Whatever. They're going to change it. They're going to make it 100%. I know it.
I'm not... Okay, so just to reply to someone in chat, I'm not necessarily speaking on the behalf of most people. I'm just saying, if you had to guess, you know, what percentage of people... If the majority... prefer switching auras, or the majority prefer sticking to one style and one aura, which would it be? And I would say, I think most people would say, you know, they prefer, the majority prefer sticking to one aura, right, and one style.
Somebody did make a good point that said PVMers use resets, and then the average player, you know, is not going to cycle.
Yeah, like that's why I rated the totem very low, because most people just use resets.
But ideally, players would use the most efficient setup at any time,
not the reality,
which sometimes requires a rotation. Like when you're arc skilling, you should be rotating between legendary Quarry Master, legendary.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the reality right
legendary Lumberjack. Well, all right. I give it a high rating because if I were skilling in 2019, I would be rotating between the skilling auras.
Like, the impact of an effect is only, what's the word I'm looking for? It hinges
pragmatically, what people are going to do, as opposed to the ideal. I'm more of an idealist. You're more of a pragmatist. We know this.
Anyways, Totem of Crystal. Elven clan bans are reduced to 15 minutes from 20 minutes. A 25% reduction. Gunnar.
0 out of 10.
Lee.
0. Yeah.
0. Wait, someone in chat said 10 out of 10. I mean,
it's useless. You shouldn't even be doing elves in 2019.
Gunnar, come on, dude.
Shouldn't have been doing elves in 2018.
I'm just saying,
or
if you
2017
do elves,
or
this
2016.
isn't really gonna change. This isn't gonna have a massive.
That's true as well. Yeah.
You gotta look at it like that. You can't just be like, elves aren't efficient. 0 out of 10. Like
0 out of 10.
Totem of Treasure. Clues require one less step to finish. Gunner.
10 out of 10. Absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, do you say this because it's quicker for you to finish your clue log?
No comment. Lee, your turn.
He's only a fucking 10 out of 10 for that reason.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9. Nice to do clues little.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 9 as well. What do you guys think about easy clues being as fast as they are? A lot of people like blew the number that Micro put out.
Yeah, the 10 mil per hour. Yeah.
Like that's like 100% focus, maximum efficiency, and it's not something people would like doing for 10 mil now because it requires a lot of like you're not doing the same linear thing at all the time. Gunnar, you could probably word it better. Who did you just ban?
I thought we weren't looking at chat.
I mean, I see 12,000 seconds they were banned for.
So it was a bar, and I looked at the top of the bar, and the top of it was like a year, and I said that's a little strong, so I just went down.
You banned him for 12,000 seconds for that?
To be honest, I don't even remember. Oh, it was just mute this. We want Lutescape, so I took offense to that. And I said, well, he can come back in a couple hours. So.
Well, I can't be bothered to unban you. Unlucky, dude. What were we talking about?
We were talking about easy clues and people blowing Micro's video out of proportion. And to be frank, they already put a control in place. Easies can already be one step. So they made it so the reduction is, it doesn't apply if it were already to be one step. So obviously it has the greatest percentage impact on easy still, but it's just an awesome totem. The only problem is how much better than all the other totems it is. Do you disagree? Because I haven't so much better than
obviously you're valuing it differently, right? Some of them save time, some of them essentially increase your XP, some of them increase your GP. Like, I haven't really looked at it like that. It's quite hard to value each of them.
I'm looking at from an impact standpoint. How much does it change how you play the game?
Yeah, 100%.
Huge change.
Do you think it's a good thing? A good impact?
I don't like the way totems are completely RNG based. If they're going to give effects as powerful as the Totem of Treasure, I don't think they should be completely RNG based.
In terms of like acquiring them?
Yes.
I think
so. If they're going to give it,
I think the way
it's you first.
I think the way of acquiring them is totally fine. Having to do everything around Anachronia to get them.
How about if you earned currency, or if you gained favor with the your workers or whomever, or the locals, or if you gained the respect of the island by doing the activities, and it wasn't RNG based. Every time you did an agility lap, you got 5 points. Every time you killed a dinosaur, or a Vile Bloom, you got 1 point. And then you could spend those points on the totem pieces you wanted. Would you prefer that, or do you like the RNG more?
So let me broaden that completely. Do you guys prefer high RNG, big drop, or low RNG, constant drops that builds the big drop? Magister versus like a lot of other bosses. What do you guys prefer? Gunner.
It depends on the rarity. So like if it's like 1 out of 100, I prefer the RNG big drops. If it's trying to get a Hazelmere's, I hate that.
Okay, that's a
like
bit,
nobody goes to yeah.
I think that's
so
it
it
depends
different. It depends on the number, but I prefer the rarer, more valuable drops because it's kind of boring to just go for phylacteries all.
Yeah, it is boring. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but to the same point, we're not talking about PVMing. We're talking about changes to gameplay that are highly varied.
But it's exciting when you get a totem piece.
Okay.
For me,
I agree.
Like
I agree.
Like you're like, holy shit! Like I just hit my Abyss totem and I was pretty excited about it because it makes completing Anachronia a lot better, for example.
Okay.
What do you think, Lee?
I definitely like RNG aspect until some point. Like it's better to get some high rolls. It's like more exciting to get something more valuable.
Yeah. So
It kind of sucks when you're unlucky.
But you're more likely, because of normal distribution, you're so much more likely to go dry on a rare drop than on a common, like periodic drop. Like phylacteries, you're much less likely to have a dry spell with phylacteries than you are, say, if you're going for a pet. Like skilling pets, some people go a couple 100 mil just because the individual roll is so infrequent. There's a limit to it for sure. So it's hard to say, one versus the other. But I think in this case, it's good that you have to do everything, right? But also they are quite rare.
Okay,
and some of the resources are as well.
How about this? For some of the totems, because like for example, like there's a lot of there's 3 totems from like each of them. Is that right? 3 totems? Is it 2?
4 agility.
4 from agility. 4
so maybe
from
some,
Slayer,
maybe
3
half. Some of them
BGH.
like one of the agility ones you get at 50 laps, one at 100 laps.
So like
And then
the
the other two are
Zygomites.
RNG.
The Zygomites give you one at 20, 40, 60.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that none of them should be RNG, right? Because it is more exciting to get it. I'm just thinking, based on community sentiment, I'm wondering, so chat, would you prefer the RNG element of totems to be as it is, right? With some of them being extremely RNG and some of them being go to this place, get X totem? Or would you rather have it all RNG, or would you rather have it all earned without RNG?
I also don't think it's a big deal.
No, it just sets. So I'm not going to say it's how they're
Precedent.
going to design content in the future, but I'm curious to see what people's opinion is.
I don't think I don't know.
So
I just think with RNG is fine because it's not a.
I want it for free. What were you saying, Owen?
I just don't really. I just don't think it's RNG enough to even.
To complain about? I'm not
complain.
complaining.
Like,
I'm just looking at the content and trying to see
I'm fine.
if
I'm fine with totem
people
pieces.
like it that way.
I'm fine with totem pieces being RNG, but the tier 3.
Right. So like
building
the
material
pelt,
could be like
pelt and rib.
you
and,
do a
yeah.
certain amount and you get it 100%. Because
So essential oils are like that, right? So essential
is it?
oils, you could. No, it's not. It doesn't have a threshold
Oh,
system.
okay,
You're
okay.
saying it should have a threshold system?
No, I'm saying like though the tier 3 should just like you get it after a certain amount, like 100%.
Oh, right. So it doesn't work like that currently.
Yeah,
but
I know.
That's the way you're thinking it should.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
saying they're much higher. I assume that they're much higher RNG than the totem pieces, right? The rarer.
So somebody made a good. Yes, they are rare. But somebody made a good point in that why not make it both? So you can get them through RNG, but if you earned a currency, you could also buy them for what would hypothetically be
Yeah.
a much higher amount. So it's sort of bad luck mitigation. Do you feel like they're doing enough bad luck mitigation?
So this
either Lee
topic
or Owen.
specifically, I don't care, and I don't think they should care, and I don't think
Okay.
people really care.
I
Like,
don't know.
I don't.
95% of the people that answered said
Okay,
no to
yeah,
RNG.
but that's. I don't know. Like adding a threshold sounds like a lot of like dev time for something that doesn't really matter.
You think adding a threshold takes a lot of dev time?
For JX, yes.
Whoa, throwing shade on this Lootscape stream.
Whoops. Here's just a joke, Cap. So Totem of the Abyss allows you to teleport where it's placed. Go. Gunner.
5 out of 10.
Whoa.
3.
3?
3, yeah.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, Totem of the Abyss, the one that teleports you, right? The one that makes
Yeah, you
Anachronia.
can teleport to it, yes.
The one that reduces a lot of travel time for any activity in Anachronia?
Right. So I see it two ways. If the point was to have this mass, this big land mass that you're supposed to explore, then it goes directly against that point. And if it wasn't,
yeah, but you can only
like
place it
that,
at one location out of the 4.
I understand.
And you have to
where would
sustain
you
it.
place it, and for what reason?
Is it the east one for the big game hunters?
So you can go to
Or
Malatops
south?
from.
South. Is it? I forgot. There's one that's like really good for. Is it either south or the east? That's really good.
So
for big game hunter.
south would be for the Cimitops, right? And then the T2s from there, the Aceatops and Spicati, etc.
Well,
But you can just go to Malatops. Malatops is closer to the base camp, to your lodestone, than that is to any of the T2s.
wait,
So
wait, what?
you just walk to Malatops. You could
Wait,
just
what's
go down the
Malatops gonna do with
stairs right to
Cimitops,
Malatops.
though? What if you want to do what if you lock down Malatops? And you need to wait.
What do you mean? You go right. You bring your whole inventory from Malatops.
You're saying you
and
rotate
Oculi.
entirely. Wait,
I'm just saying Totem of the Abyss is, depending on how you look at it, either completely useless or it goes against the explorational intent of the item.
you gain that as a, like I said, you gain that as a reward, and it's only one of the 4 spots, and you have to sustain it every week with a D&D.
Which is one left click.
Oh yeah, that D&D is fucking. What is that, dude? I was like, I had to click like 2 things. I was like, I thought.
You don't have to close the rifts. You don't have to close the rifts at all. No, you click it and then you go upstairs and make some noodles and you come back and it's done.
Nice, that's useful to know.
Wait, so it just slows down the progress?
It just slows down. Yes. It should completely halt it.
I mean, how many did you guys get? I got 2 spawns the one time I did it.
I have no idea because I came back and it was done.
Wait, Lee, how many spawns did you get?
Like 5 maybe.
Oh, dude, my bar was like halfway done and nothing happened. And I thought my game glitched or something. I was like, "What's going on?" Because I was excited because I hadn't done it and I hadn't read about it. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna do a D&D. It's gonna be fun." And I go there and I click it, and I literally wait 30 seconds and nothing had happened. I'm like, something happening? I was like overthinking. I was like, it's dark. Maybe I have to do something to lighten up the skies or some shit. Like.
Well, also there's the achievement, and it's like perform the ritual to activate a totem, and then it's like, all right, I guess this is the ritual.
Well, I thought
I would not rate it highly.
I would give Totem of the Abyss an 8.
So it's relative to each other, right? If you're using a 10 scale, you would say, what did you give Totem of Treasure? A 9?
Yeah.
So you think the Totem of the Abyss
maybe it's
is
like a
91% of a Totem of Treasure?
You convinced me.
You're crazy.
6.
You're crazy.
6.
All right.
Okay. Totem of Summoning. Familiars last 10% longer. Wait, let me just answer it for everyone. 0. Okay, next one.
For some familiars, it could be useful depending on how they line up with auras, etc. Right? Not having to summon a second of something.
Okay,
like
it has a use. It's probably like.
But it is highly subject to balancing. If it were familiars last 100% longer, it would be like an 8.5.
Would it? Okay, if it. Let's say it was 100% longer. Would that be OP?
I don't think so.
I don't think
really,
so.
though.
Huh? What'd you say, Lee?
I mean,
No, not really.
most familiars are at shard price. Besides, like the really.
The only one that would be an
high-end
issue is
ones.
like ones that aren't creatable through summoning, aka meerkats, right?
Yeah, it would be really good for meerkats, but then again, everything has its niche uses, right? So whether it affects nihils versus meerkats more dramatically, that's just part of it. Anyway, moral of the story is 10% is useless, basically.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of having to upkeep the totems weekly?
Lee, you can go.
It's boring. Like, I don't know the XP rate, but it seems underwhelming. Just annoying that you have to go run back there just to click the totem bit once.
Yeah,
Okay.
compared to cash as a divination D&D, right? And it's, I don't know. It is underwhelming is a really good way to put it. I'm fine with things having upkeep, right? Especially something as powerful as the Totem of Treasure. But they could make it a little bit more imaginative. Like, again, if those riffs
Wait, you're
stopped
talking about
the
the
progress. I'm talking about the ritual.
Okay.
So, like, if those riffs stopped the progress, and there was some element of like, oh, if you pay attention and do it super quickly, like if no rift stays for more than 3 seconds, you get a boost or something. Or if how long the totem lasted based on how well you performed the ritual, and you only got one shot, right? Like if you did it perfect, it lasts 2 weeks. If you did okay, it lasts a week. If you did garbage, it lasts a day. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I do like the idea of having something to do, like being able to put in more effort and gain more reward out of it. Like I was just thinking, like maybe the rifts like spawn really fucking quick and they only stay like you said for like 3 seconds, and clicking them increases the bar while the bar slowly goes up. But I think I like your idea more, but I don't think it'd be popular with JX. Not JX, sorry, with players. Like the whole like if you do better, you get a longer effect. I think a lot
of people are okay with more skillful gameplay.
But this is different. This is something that's never been done before in RuneScape, right? Where an effect stays longer because of like significantly based on your one-time
Not
effort.
really. It's cachet buff.
The cash buff.
But cash buff is very lenient. It's like very. It's pretty.
It's the same thing with the idols, the woodcutting idols. That buff lasts longer depending on how much you contributed. But I don't know. I have a feeling if they gave it a buff icon and you could track when they ran out, or if there were a way at your base camp to just look at a plaque and see when it ran out, I think people would like that. I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, what about this? Like, to combat the whole like having to go back every week, what about if you could place totems and they stay there permanently but at like a less effective rate? But so you could go there to make it more effective every week.
How does that work with like treasure, Totem of Treasure?
I guess
does it only have a 50% chance of releasing by one step?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But
like,
I
so
would
give the option
I would
for
prefer if Herby Werby had an item that you could buy with points that instead kept it active for 2 weeks instead of 1 week.
That's not bad either. I mean,
like, there's just so many things they can do with these reward shops, and they don't. I don't know.
Yeah. And also, to go back on the Hunter Mark shop, I think the frog repellent, assuming you have the other frog removal from the base camp, is, I think it was like an 8.33 recurring % increase in your rate. I did the math, but I just don't remember the exact
That
number.
sounds right. If you only use it on the first kill of each like encounter, yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, to go back on it, what do you guys think about the bug abuse regarding skipping cutscenes and not skipping cutscenes to prevent scorpions from breaking? Do you guys like that? Do you guys think that should stay?
I didn't know that was a thing until this very second.
Lee told me like a couple of days after release, or was it on, I don't remember when it was, but basically if you have a single dino and you skip cutscene on the first scorpion shot,
scorpion won't break.
None of the scorpions will break, but obviously you won't see the hit splats, but you just use math.
But you can do the math.
Yeah, you do two of the same color, one another color, and you can figure out what was the 30k.
Is it still like that?
Yeah.
Don't abuse bugs, people.
Shut up!
I think
everyone, dude. I said this on the RS stream. On when was it? Tuesday? I forgot what day it was.
Somebody's like, I thought that was a game mechanic. Yeah,
wait, did they really think it was a game mechanic?
Math Blaster 2.0.
No, it is definitely not a game mechanic. I'm pretty sure it's a bug. Why does it make sense that you skip a cutscene and your scorpions don't It's just a cutscene.
it
Like
makes no
that
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
Somebody made a good
I mean-
point, though. It doesn't matter whether or not your scorpions break, because the worst case scenario, you're only going to need 2 scorpions to finish the kill anyway.
Matters for duos and trios.
It does matter for... Yes, it does.
Like
It matters
in
for 2s and 3s. You're right.
In duo and trio, if you don't skip a cutscene, then none of your scorpions break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, when
that's
you-
where it matters, yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
I assume it's a bug, right? Like everyone assumes it's a bug.
It has to be.
Yeah, like, but how they code it like one way and then the other way, like.
Who knows? Maybe it just procs at a certain point throughout the cutscene, like at the end of the cutscene, and then you're, brute forcing around that point. I can only guess.
I have an idea. Maybe it resets scorpions some time after the thingy, and if you skip the cutscene, you come into game sooner, so that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
But like, to go back to it, like everyone loves bug abusing. Everyone loves breaking a game.
Omid 2019. Everybody loves bug
I mean,
abuse.
they do. There's like it's like speedrunners, right?
No, I
Speedrunners
know.
just love, like,
People do like to find
using,
exploits. Yeah.
Using the like vast knowledge and experience of how the game works and how the game is, and the basic mechanics of the game to just break it. Like
Yeah.
that's basically. I mean, it's a lot. It's very easy in RuneScape, especially because it's a tick-based game, and you can do like perfect inputs very
Yeah.
easily.
Yep. Well, compared to other games.
I
where
mean,
you
yeah,
can do
compared to other
25
games,
25
like
things in a
RuneScape
second.
is a 1.66,
Yeah.
and most games are like 20 ticks per second.
Yeah. The polling rate is very low for
Yeah.
RuneScape.
So, let's-
Continue.
So we're good on totems. Talk about aggro overload, extended super anti-fire, and stamina potions. Go.
Stamina potions are useless. Aggro overload is incredible for alt
Egg.
scaping.
Wait, what? Pronounce that again?
What is it? Aggro overload? You're making me feel deficient right now
Because you are.
with your silence.
Okay. Aggro.
Okay,
overload.
anyway, it's aggro overload is very good for alt scaping because it saves you so much money. But that's about it, really. I mean, it's good for your main, depending on what you use, but I use Supremes everywhere.
But Supremes
So-
are generally not worth it in most Slayer, for most people, for Slayer, right?
That's true, and those people should be using aggro overloads. I just want to call it aggro overloads to spite you. Anyway, I use Supremes most places. The people who generally altscape already made thousands of holy overloads, so
Hey!
some people are
Go-
timing it well, but
Dude, when Supreme Overloads came out and when Crystal Flask came out and the whole Shazam, I had 28,000
holies.
no, 28,000 Overload potion flasks.
Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
I love being fucked by JX. So yeah, that was a waste. So yeah, stamina potion. It's just basically an agility boost for the Anachronia course, right? Because it boosts your agility by 6.
Something like that.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's useful like that. Extended super anti-fire.
Can't
I mean,
comment.
like again, these all have uses, right? But they're not like
They're not top tier.
yeah,
like,
they're
not useful
crazy
for
good.
for us.
You're not gonna get excited about being able to use these, right?
But aggro overload save a ton
Yeah,
of money.
aggro
for the
overload does
average
save
player.
a lot of money. I will give it that. I think aggro overload is really up there. I think extended. I would say aggro overload like an 8, extended anti-fire like 4, and stamina like 3. Maybe lower for those two.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It highly depends on how you play the game, right? As you said, a lot of people don't use Supremes everywhere because it's not necessarily cost effective depending on your goals. But that's where aggro overload really shines. You know what I mean? It just saves you half of a aggression potion per every one you make, which is huge for the average player. So
Yeah.
I think it's very impactful compared to the other two.
Yeah, 100% agree. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, it's very useful for ults and hardcore elements and stuff. Not really useful for Fallout players.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between high-level players and players who are trying to be 100% efficient all the time.
Okay.
Like, there's people going for, like 1.2 million Salawa Ak kills. Those people are probably going to really like this,
How
no
much
matter
money does
if
it
they're
save?
5.4 or whatever.
Has anyone done the math?
Well, I mean, aggression potion, the 4-dose aggressions are 71k right now. So it gives you 2 free doses when you make. It gives you 2 free doses when you make one. So that's 35k per.
Yeah, and well, and
Oh yeah, and well, and all that. You save a lot of money. Like, they're very impactful for the average player. So that's a big part of this update that we might not be giving enough credit for.
Yeah, I think aggro overload's good. I think it's. Really
Do you
good.
like how? You know what's upsetting though?
What?
You could have bought the recipe from Herby Werby.
Oh yeah, wait.
Instead of putting it in the Myler potion shop.
I don't know. Yeah, they could have made that unlockable through Anachronia. I didn't even think about that, honestly. I mean, it's like, but the thing is, it's a crystal flask potion.
Yeah, that's where it ties into the Prifdnos. But it doesn't matter. It could be like 500 points at Herby Werby to gain expertise into the insights of Arbuck.
You're really set on making more Herby Werby rewards.
Right? I just want to see these things have use after like the 5 weeks it takes to get 2 totem pieces, the pet, and the herb bag and upgrade. That's it.
How good is the XP per hour, including the lamp purchase? Does anyone like...
For all of us, it's 0 XP for hours.
Yeah, okay, but like, how much is the actual XP? I don't know. I mean, the herb bag was like, how useful is the herb bag?
Not really.
The thing is,
anywhere where you pick up herbs.
Again,
anywhere you pick up herbs, they're noted. Anywhere they're not noted, you don't. High-level players don't pick up herbs. It's good for like.
It's good, I guess.
It's good for Iron Man, and it's good for like level 80s that kill a lot of aberrant specters.
So yeah, it has a use, but it's like, again, not like anything crazy.
Oh, Grenwalls. Somebody said Grenwalls. That's interesting.
Grenwalls?
But yeah, so you get herbs from Grenwall.
Oh yeah, I forgot because I've got
we
herbicide
on. Them,
yeah,
but yeah.
Herbicide on. So does herbicide has an option where auto picks up, right? Like the Bone Crusher?
I think so. Only unnoted though.
Oh yeah, but okay. What do you think if it would automatically put those picked up herbs into your bag?
That'd be good.
That'd make the herb bag like a lot more useful. I would think.
Nice quality of life update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something they plan or something, but like, I think that would be a.
This was quite the tangent from going from.
So, what do you guys think of the mini quest and the lore behind it? Lore hounds. Woo!
I mini quest. You spoke briefly before this started about the cutscene for the arrival on Anachronia.
I loved it, dude. It kind of gave
which was phenomenal.
Dude, I was in a cutscene and my stream was complaining about it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is like the best part of this update.
It was very good.
I loved it. It was actually a 10. Rating. Quick fire rating on the cutscene. Go. Out of 10.
I would say a 10.
Lee.
Yeah, 10.
10. Okay.
Because you look at it as a use of resources, right? Like, Jagex made the best cutscene they could possibly make for this island. It built the hype. You know, it was immediate. Like, you got on the boat and it was like, oh, snap, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? You're not used to that type of storytelling.
And I like the art style as well. The voice act. Like, it gave me this vibe. Have you seen the World of Warcraft trailers? The 3 trailers for, like, the BFA for...
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
It kind of gave me that vibe, and I fucking loved it. I was so, like, hyped. But then I got on the
it was
island.
good. Wait, what were we talking about before we got
Herbeck?
Oh yeah. So we were talking about Herbbag, but we got somehow we got to the cutscene. So
wait, what were we talking? Yeah, what were we talking? Oh, mini quest and lore.
The mini quest, and so catching a fugu, that was pretty. It was a standard fetch quest, right? But it had you go around the island, which I appreciated.
Yeah,
because it kind of got you acclimated to there's all these dinos. It's like impossible to get from A to B without going to C first. You know what I mean? So it kind of got you used to Anachronia. Would I like to see more quests around the lore on the island? Absolutely. Do I think we'll see more? Absolutely. So
I mean, yeah, they're gonna.
The
next part is like delving into the whole like continued Dragonkin quest line, which I'm excited about.
Carapac. Carapac was seen flying east.
What do you guys think of what's her name?
Lenia Kea.
Lenia Kea. What do you think?
Lenia.
I'm gonna call her the Slay Master, right? The Slay. What do you think of her like saying that there's no right side, and if you were in his position, you would do the same thing? Like, do you think?
I like it.
Do you think, in terms of like delving into the lore, what do you guys think? That Carapac is a bad guy. What do you think is going to be the result of this conflict?
I have no idea what the result.
If you could kill, but at the end of this quest line, if you could kill or spare Carapac, what would you do?
I would say spare.
I'd probably kill him.
What the hell?
I would spare him because acting in the self-interest of one's.
Because he did betray you.
He
broke your
trust. A lot of NPCs have betrayed you over the course of this game, and you haven't killed all of them.
Wait, who's betrayed you that you had the opportunity to kill and you didn't, kind of thing? Like probably no one, right? Because you can't you let them live, and you
well
can't,
a lot of the old choices in the game made you go one way or the other. It wasn't until Walgothic Sleeps, I think, where you could make decisions that permanently affected NPCs, right? Like you could kill that giant caterpillar there, in
caterpillar.
You know who the Fistigothics one.
Oh, I know. What you're talking about. Okay, I was like caterpillar. What the fuck is, dude?
It's like a caterpillar. I don't know.
What is everyone's favorite? Quick fire round. Favorite quests, go.
In the history of the game?
Yes.
I gotta think about it. Lee, you go first.
Really?
Dimensional Disaster.
Dimensional Disaster?
Yeah.
I need a new guest.
Like, I don't know lore, but I did like the gameplay of it.
I need a new guest. Alright. While Gothic Sleeps, hands fucking down.
I might agree with While Gothic Sleeps.
No, you do. But agree. I also like. You not might agree. You will agree.
Well, if I don't have no. I've liked like the last 5 quests. So if we're talking anything before like the last string of quests, it's definitely While Gothic Sleep.
Actually, I might go Morning's End Part 2 because I really like the.
Really, I just did MEP2 again on the alt, and it was.
Okay, it
was a 2011 quest in 2019.
It's a very different experience once you do it for the second time. That's how quests are.
But some more so than others.
Especially when it's a puzzle, when it's a puzzle quest, right?
Actually, Omid, I'm going with Fate of the Gods. Somebody said it. I really enjoyed Fate of the Gods.
What happened in the Fate of the Gods again?
I don't know. I got Rune Dragons.
Wait, no. Wait.
That was Children of Ma.
What Children of Ma? Fate
of the Gods. That's when Ma. That's the one where Ma died, right? Children of Ma was when you got Saren and Zaros's like.
I actually don't remember. You reweight
Fate of the Gods was the one after that.
Lore-wise,
spoilers.
I guess I'm looking at it from more of a lore and gameplay wise, because most of the time I don't enjoy a lot of the recent quests in terms of gameplay. The last one, I really liked all of them.
Actually,
one of the best gameplay, and I think a lot of people would agree. What's the haunted house one called?
Oh, the one where you get the Asylum Surgeon's ring?
Yeah, what is it called?
Broken Home?
Broken Home.
Yeah.
Right?
That was
really a really good quest.
That was really good.
Anyone that says otherwise is banned, right? There's no free
That was a good
speech in
one.
here, right? This is a dictatorship, chat.
All right, we're so far off topic.
Okay, what
Let's
are we
go.
talking about?
We were talking about the lore and how we have a Slayer Master who's dressed like an 1800s Victorian apothecary. It's definitely an interesting choice they went with the design, right? She's Hawaiian, but she's got like
what?
a
You made it.
Laniakea.
Are you assuming right now?
I'm assuming her ethnicity, yeah. Oh, I guess it's 2019. I guess I can't assume.
That's fucked up, dude. I really
She's
do
from
need a
the-
new co-host before I get banned on Twitch. This guy on here.
All right, she's got a Hawaiian name,
Wait.
but she dresses like a goth from 1822.
Were the goths back in 1822?
Yeah, the OGs,
The
old
OG
goths.
goths?
Yeah,
What's an OG
no,
goth?
that's where goths came from.
I want to move to the next topic. So what do you guys think about entering a new area and having content from previous areas in it?
Like Jadinkos.
Jadinkos, overgrown isles, fishing spots, mining spots, Grenwalls, pyres, butterflies.
Lee, take it.
I'm okay with it, like filling the new content with old content. Like obviously it takes a lot less time than developing new content. That's why it's like okay.
I'm okay if it adds something new, right? Like getting to the Grenwalls, if it's quicker to do it here, if there's more Grenwall spawns, if there's some cost or like benefit to doing it in the new area. Otherwise, they're just filling space. So I guess the new Grenwall spot is the best spot, from my understanding.
Here's a question.
Is that accurate?
Do you,
I think so.
I mean, yeah. I'm fine with it in terms of Grenwalls, but I just realized this. Can you get the Herblore habitat like outfit in a? Is there a cheat? You get something for catching every Jadinko, right?
It's just an achievement.
Oh, is it
yeah.
just an-
Well,
And the
isn't that how you
Herb-
get witch doctor?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Can you do it on that
It's
island?
been so long.
Can you catch the Jadinkos on that island to get the outfit piece?
I think you can do every single one but the god Jadinkos.
No, but I'm saying you catching it on Anachronia, does that add towards...
Currently, I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. Because I would... For you to be able to get your Witch Doctor, I think you would have to go to Herblore Habitat and
Mamba.
do it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that makes more sense
Okay.
to lure them yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
obviously God Jadinkos don't exist. I'm talking about the other Jadinkos and having to catch
Yeah.
them once. Alright, so let's move on to Hunter Modernization. Wait, that's not the right one. Hunter Modernization results. So the result of Hunter Modernization, what do you guys think? Looking at the XP rates of Turtles, Grenwalls, Crystal Chins, and Big Game Hunter. We did kind of
If
briefly
they-
talk about this, but
Yeah, if they buffed Big Game Hunter, I'm fine with it. I would prefer that they don't get into this situation where they think XP rates are exorbitant, right? But it is what it is. If you're going to nerf something for what you think is the good of the game, you do it. And yeah, Big Game Hunter should be faster though.
Do you think JX intended for the XP rates to be as they are?
No, because I think they would have buffed Big Game Hunter if that were the case.
You think so? I think JX intended it for it to be these rates. I think JX intended it for Big Game Hunter to be worse than the other methods because
Because
they
it's
think-
money.
Because it's money.
But Grenwalls make more money. And are
Is
about
that
the same
true?
XP. Yeah. Well, it
Wait,
depends. T2
did you look
T2
at
Dino
Did you look at my numbers?
T2 Dino is with the prices the meat are at right now. It's iffy.
Not even that. Did you look at my numbers? Full run, 3.4 mil an hour. Grenwalls, currently it's 4 to 7 mil an hour. They by the way, Grenwalls right now, I checked this morning, Insta sold for 400 GP, Insta bought for 700 GP. The margin is insane.
That's what I'm saying. Is Grenwalls are insane money. So why would they have Big Game Hunter be less XP?
I'm just saying, you said more money. I'm disagreeing. with that.
Grenwalls are more money.
I disagree.
Okay.
That's 3.4 mil an hour. Big Game Hunter full runs, right?
Yes. Doing T1, T2, T3.
Yeah, 3.4 mil an hour, not including the big boy drop.
Right. Okay.
Do you think
we
in,
have
like,
no
a
idea
week-
how common that is?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know. I'm just saying, that's why I said disagree. I'm not saying you are wrong.
Okay.
I'm just saying that in a week, once Grenwall spikes potentially stabilize at a much lower price.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Maybe that's what the logic they used, but I'm not exactly sure that's the case.
I mean, I also don't think so, but I mean, I think we all.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If it gets to the August behind the scenes and the T3 meets are 2 mil a piece because they're like a Legio key, then it will be fine because big game hunting will be insane money. And it won't matter really what the XP is because it won't be the XP option. It will be the GP option.
How much GP per hour does big game hunting need to be for it to be justified at this XP rate?
13 or 14 mil an hour.
No, that's too much for casuals.
No, that's not
Yeah,
too
but
much.
but
It's
but
13 to 14 mil an hour at like maximum efficiency, obviously.
casuals won't be able to do it at
Yeah.
maximum efficiency.
Yeah.
And if they make any changes to the gameplay that allow you to take risks, so like to Omid's point, if you can pre-bait to try to get 2 or 3 spawns or whatever, I think 13 to 14 mil an hour would be appropriate.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I was going to say 15 mil an hour, but
That's very high. I guess
I
it's
mean,
not much different than 13 or 14. But
I mean, the thing is that, like I said, right now, as it currently stands with the XP per hour and the GP per hour, no one is going to do this other than for pure fun. And I think we all agree that no one's. I always have this like sense in the back of my head, like, why isn't it good enough for something to just be fun, rather than having to be efficient as well?
Because people play video games differently than they did 12 years ago, right? We're not 13 years old anymore. It's not about just killing time and shooting the shit at Castle Wars.
I mean,
people value their time much differently.
I think
have to be efficient.
I think people were like that back in the day. I mean, the reason we killed
There were very few hardcore efficiency people.
No, the
back
reason
in
we
the day.
killed so much time in Castle is because we were fucking noobs. And we were young.
So I didn't, because I've always been
Shut up.
efficiency minded.
What about-
But the game wasn't like the way it is now. Before the Suomis of the world and the Forsbergs, people weren't like speed running is much bigger now than it was in 2006 or 2007.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. People value their time differently.
I don't know.
And a lot more people have more fun being efficient now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about that, and I'm thinking about like if Big Game Hunter has no change, and let's say the tier 3 meat isn't that valuable, who's gonna do Big Game Hunter? Who's gonna do?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Who? Like I can't imagine that many people doing it.
If Lee gets his way and each of them just make a dino soup that heals 2550, nobody's going to do Big Game Hunter. Because the T2s will drop when the T3s are useless.
I just think that Jay should stop being afraid of making a lot of these high effort skilling methods. Just make them fucking ridiculously good. Like frenzy fishing.
I agree.
Like what else is there? I was gonna say charm sprites.
If Wobbegongs are 385k an hour, Fishing Frenzy should be 650k plus for keeping a streak.
100% agree. But
maybe 700k.
Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go
at the top.
I think 600 is fine.
If you can't lose your streak, because you only lose a percentage of your streak because people complained, I look away for 2 seconds and I lose my streak. They changed the way it works, right? If they hadn't changed the way it worked, I think 700k would have been
okay.
fine.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like, instead of them basically reducing the skill that it takes to do it, they should just up the XP rate.
Yeah.
And the same, and that potentially could happen to Big Game Hunter. They could make Big Game Hunter a lot easier rather than just making the XP a lot higher.
Don't tell me it's not hard as is.
That could
it's
be
so easy.
Like I think most people here, like us three, all agree double the XP rate of Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think JX would just like, I would like to know what JX thinks on that, like double XP rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what their response would be.
You should put this math in a Reddit post, or anybody in chat has free reign
Whoa,
to put this in a Reddit
is my
post.
math.
Or
Apart from the
everybody.
hunter,
Anybody in chat.
this is my
free
math,
reign.
and it took me a very long time. Apart
Are
from
you gonna post it? Are you gonna post it?
Probably
You're gonna
not.
DM it to Shogun?
Probably not.
All right. Well, then everybody's free.
I mean,
free
everyone here has this information, knows this information now. Also, just take into account that the Big Game Hunter was done with like, these are like high XP rates. These are like 100% focus and 0 fails. So it may
Yeah.
not be realistic for most people in the long run, or for anyone in the long run, because human error and such. So just take that into account. Like these numbers that are being shown are like high, whereas like with
I think they up the risk, right? Because the other things are less susceptible to failure in terms of time wasting. I think they up the risk from a GP standpoint by preloading the bait. I think they at least add 50% to the XP. And if there's a use for T3 meat, that content will stay active for a long time.
It all hinges on the tier 3 meat, and I'm just worried, I guess.
Oh, it really does. I'm super worried myself.
So-
Please no dino soup. Please no dino soup.
So I think we all agree, like, just make Big Game Hunter efficient to do, and potentially make it so you can freely choose double and triple dinos with a sense of risk. Right? Is there anything else either of you want to add to that?
No, I just want to make sure that we get this to some. So either if I don't see it on Reddit within the next hour, I will DM it to a JMod.
Lee, what about you?
I'm not gonna DM a J-mod.
No, what do you like? Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I totally agree with the points made. Like, it should be better than it currently is.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Cool.
next topic is the future of Anachronia. So what's under Anachronia, near the Slayer Master, and has bent bars as well as that Carapac that went there. What would we kind of talked about this as well. What would the tier 3 meat use be in the future? Potential boss. Kind of touched on all of this, right?
So I think that the island has a lot of opportunity for expansion.
The island to the left on the minimap. On the map.
Well, I'm saying Anachronia in general, but I was getting there.
Oh.
So I think there's a lot of dungeons in RuneScape that get a lot of use, right? Like the Menaphos dungeon is a good example. They could add something like that. It's got a Slayer Master right in front of it. Look at the history of RuneScape. There are a lot of dungeons with a Slayer Master like right there. So I'm not entirely sure that the boss is going to be there. I think it could be on the Western Island. And I think it might be more than one boss. The reason that I think it might be more than one is because with weapon diversity coming, there is a lot of reward space to fill. Right? They could add it to existing bosses, like just to fill up some of the things that don't exist at tier 92. I don't think they'll do that.
Makes me nauseous every time you use the F
you
word.
Hear what?
Filler. Filling.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot of content that needs a home. So I think it could be multiple bosses, and it really does hinge on the quest, which I'm assuming will be within the next couple months, and the uses for the meats, which I assume will be within the next couple months. But they could wait till after RuneFest, because we know that's the theme for RuneFest now.
What do you... okay. Well, what about you, Lee?
Yeah, I hope it's a boss or something like that. They announced some super big project that they're gonna reveal on RuneFest, and I would like it to be a boss. Or
Do you think
something.
do you think there's room for a skill?
Ooh.
I very much doubt it, but
Yeah.
I'll be open to it.
I think if it was a new skill, it would have been released with the area, right?
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. Right?
If it
I
was-
really hope archaeology is coming by the end of the year. But
If there was a boss, what would you like it to be? Duo, solo, 7-man, enrage? Just the overall, not anything, not any specific mechanics or anything. Like, what kind of style of boss do you want it to be?
I would rather have it be like group boss, possibly duo trio.
yeah, I would say
Do we have
hard
a
duo.
Trio
Hard
boss?
duo. We have plenty of bosses you can do trio.
Yeah, yeah.
But are you saying like
I'm
a
talking
hard
about like
trio?
a hard trio, like a Rax or like duo solo kind of style.
I don't know if there's any hard trio requirements. I don't think so.
Trio solo.
I guess elite dungeons were
Oh yeah, I guess
devised
yeah.
to be 1 to 3.
But like the mechanics don't really revolve around true. Like
Yeah,
they don't-
it's best to solo them. So, I mean, I would like to see either hard duo or hard trio. I think there's enough
So you're
challenges
saying
for solo
no
PVMers
no
right
other
now.
options, just duo or
Yeah, you have to start it with 2 people because then it makes soloing an extreme challenge, right? Like bladed dive abuse and like look at like Calfight King or something. They tried to make it a hard duo, at least with the green.
I
effect.
think the intention of Calfight King was like 5-man initially, or like 7-man.
But they tried to make it so you needed another person.
Yeah,
absolutely needed another person.
Someone
I'd like to see
someone
something
argue that's a
similar.
bug though, the way you can solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Wait, did you answer Lee on the? I think you
He
did.
said group.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like a solo duo. I think solo is just generally more popular and like the safer choice. But yeah, like solo duo very similar to Raxor. I would like. So, is there anything else you guys want to add to Anachronia and the update as a whole?
Not that I would like to reiterate that there are a ton of shops and D&Ds that could be useful forever that currently aren't, and I'll leave it at that.
What would you value, and while you're at it, rate Anachronia as potentially the biggest update of 2019?
7.5.
Okay. Lee?
Like 5. Doesn't look very promising so far.
I mean, I think that it's happened,
Like-
right? There's like,
Yeah.
if there's anything extra, I think it's. Would you call it
Yeah,
part of Anachronia at that point? I mean, content very likely will be added to the area, especially with the quests as well. But
Yeah, probably. Like all depends on the future content.
yeah, I would probably. I'd probably say a 5 as well. Honestly, why do you rate it so highly? What do you rate it so? Why do you rate it as 7.5? Like,
So it's
Is it-
partially for potential, right? But
that's not what we're
as-
rating on.
as it is
Potential,
current-
potential. My rating would be higher as well, but with rating this update that's happened.
So I think the potential of an update kind of gauges your expectations, right? If you think something like there are no uses for T3 meats, so you can't give T3 meats a 0 because
Okay, but
they
that's
have
been
no use currently. If
confirmed,
you know
right?
that. Right.
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 Whereas we're speculating.
And we know
on
that
boss.
there's and we know Carapac flew towards the island.
That's a
I think,
quest.
Right, exactly. But those are potential. So if they were to can those updates, like I did a raid today, and below Yakamaru, it still has question mark. So if they were to can any more updates to Anachronia, I'd still probably give it like a 7 because I think Big Game Hunter is such a big step in the right direction. The agility course is a step in the right direction.
With the current XP rates and GP rates?
But those are so easy to change.
No, but we're talking about how it is right now.
Okay,
I think.
Exactly how it is.
Yeah,
no
that's
changes.
why I rated it a 5.
5.5.
Okay. So potential you say 7.5. Lee, potential, like, what do you think the potential of Anachronia is?
Pretty big, like 9.
Yeah, I would say like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah. Well, so my 7.5 was as is, utilizing potential. If I were to say out of my wildest dreams, if they did everything I wanted, it could easily be a 9. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the Q&A. Let me copy this. All right. So because we're doing a Lootscape stream, I'll probably do a Q&A in Twitch chat as well, but obviously I'll prioritize the ones in the Discord. So let me just go through the ones on Discord first, then we'll look at chat. So, JX generally puts a huge amount of hype, development time, and emphasis into their summer updates. Rank the following major summer updates over the past several years and justify your rankings. 2009, Anachronia. 2018, Menaphos. 2017, Magister? Slayer? Wait, is that how it happened?
That's Menaphos.
Wait. I don't remember. 2016 Telos. Wait, did Menaphos happen? Like, did 120 was 120 Slayer the big update of 2017?
Yeah.
Wait, when did Menaphos come out? Wait, what happened 2018? What came out 2000? Was that Solak? Was that the major?
That would have been Solak.
Yeah, but
it was like what, April, May?
Was that the major update of summer 2018?
Elite Dungeon.
Elite
apparently.
Dungeon.
Ooh, I do love Elite Dungeons.
2019 Anachronia, 2018 Elite Dungeon, 2017 Menaphos, 2016 Telos, 2015 Raids, 2014 Araxel.
Oh my god. They've actually done pretty well. So we'll let Lee go first.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I feel like Raids was the best content.
Hmm.
Wait,
Like,
am
it's
I
very-
going first or are you going first? I'm confused.
Lee's going.
Yeah, I'll drink Raids, Telos, Araxor, Elite Dungeons, Menaphos, Lair, and stuff, and Anachronia.
I would rate that exactly the same, except for I would put Anachronia above Menaphos? No, actually I wouldn't.
Ooh.
I put Menaphos above, yeah, exactly the same as Lee. Raids, Telos, Araxor, wait. Wait, what was 2018 again? I've got like dementia right now.
Yeah, ED1.
Oh yeah, sorry. Raids, Telos, Araxor, Elite Dungeons, Menaphos, Anachronia.
Yeah,
Menaphos, because there was a lot more satisfaction as a completionist to complete stuff for me. What about you? What made you put Menaphos above Anachronia, Lee?
It feels more stuff to do and like more different, not just same thing go.
Wait, someone said Anachronia is for endgame people. What does that mean?
Menaphos is mid-game. That's what they mean. Menaphos is mid-game.
Pretty sure there's more endgame content to do on Menaphos than there is Anachronia. Actually, there's the trees, right?
It's pretty close.
There's the trees. That's
Pretty
it.
close.
The Arcadia trees.
Yeah.
And that's
if we're
it?
talking skilling, well, and Slayer, right? Magister is the highest.
Oh
Slayer.
yeah, no, Soul of Arrows are really good. Actually, I would say Menaphos is a more higher level content, right? Anachronia has agility.
So
And what? agility and
Yeah.
Grenwalls?
I guess you'd call it Grenwalls and Big Game Hunter, depending on what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it's. Well, I guess we have a different definition of endgame, like in terms of like the requirements compared to the usability of endgame players, right? Which Big Game Hunter technically isn't going to be used by endgame players.
It depends how you use Personal Slayer Dungeon too.
Well,
if you
Salt of
consider
Arrows
that.
is softening, but it's part of the Menaforce update, right?
Yeah.
Part of the summer Menaforce update, so you include it. And 120 Slayer as well was. I actually don't know. I don't know if they're technically the same, like part of the same batch. But yeah, so anyways, what would you rate yours, Gunnar?
So I have like the exact opposite, save for where we save for Anachronia. So I don't really want to rank Anachronia until it's finished, because save for raids, the rest of these are pretty much done, right? It's not going to be a significant...
Wait, are you looking at potential again?
I'm omitting an Anachronia slotting until it's complete.
As it is right now. That's what we're rating it on.
All right.
You need to stop with this shit.
As it is right now, Elite Dungeons, Raids, Menaphos, Telos, Anachronia, Araxor. I think Araxor you finish too fast these days.
Well,
it's kind of monotonous.
You have to look at it when it was released.
I didn't do Araxor when it was
we're obviously rating these on release day.
Yeah, I didn't get hyped because I wasn't doing it. I was still, I was 5.4.
Yeah, so if anyone missed it, me and Lee's ratings were exactly the same. We did Raids, Telos, Araxor, Elite Dungeons, Menaphos, Anachronia. And the question was, just to reiterate, JX generally puts a huge amount of hype, development time, and emphasis into their summer updates. Rank the following major summer updates over the past several years and justify your rankings. And it was...
So here's the thing. August might come and you might have to re-rate that entirely. So we'll see.
Okay. Would you count that part of the summer update though?
August is definitely part of the summer.
Yeah, but I guess I just see the summer update as just one big update, not anything that gets added to it later on.
So Menaphos there was a lot of content added to Menaphos in a second batch, so you'd have to separate those two.
They admitted that Anachronia wasn't going to have any batches by their standards.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Zach asks, what would you add to BGH to make it better? I think we've talked about this
We've talked at length about that.
A lot. So it's basically the ability to choose doubles and triple dinos by sacrificing meat to enter the instance, and if you fail it, obviously you lose the meat. So there's a sense of risk, and it also gives people the ability to consistently put in effort and get rewarded for it. Also double the XP rates. So
we've talked at length.
What other skill would you add to Anachronia? Wait, what?
Ooh,
could you
elaborate? What other current skills would you add to Anachronia? So like, it's got agility, it's got hunter, it's got slayer.
I was thinking
what other skills?
Like a Jadinko piece of content, or like unique agility. Because
I would add fishing.
No, I'm just saying like Anachronia has a unique agility course, but also has copy pasted Jadinkos. Like, is he saying that? Like, which one is he? I assume he's asking unique, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
And I would say fishing. What would you say?
I mean, I don't know. That's a hard question, because it have to be like very different, right? And it have to introduce like new things, like new fish. What would the fish do? How good would it be? What requirements?
So I saw an idea about adding fugu, catching repeated fugu, and then making a weapon poison +++. So I would like that idea. That would be super pricey. Especially if you had to like extract venom, and then it took like 100 to make a weapon poison +++.
I don't mind that idea. I can't think of anything because I've not thought about this. What about you, Lee?
Construction, maybe, that you build some
Ooh.
like maybe agility course, maybe base camp, maybe like build shortcuts that you can customize.
Ooh! Customizable agility course and shortcuts. Maybe with a limitation, so you have to pick and choose.
Like you can only have a couple active at once.
Yeah.
Huh. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Maybe construction. Maybe like build like a bait box next to one of the Slayer monster areas to get an extra spawn.
Okay. Using the dino meats?
I don't fucking know.
the
I just came up with this
Okay.
shit, alright? So like one extra like brutish dinosaur would make a huge difference in terms of your XP rates. Because most of the time when you're doing brutish dinosaurs, you're AoEing like 2 of them at once. But if you get to AoE 3 of them, your XP rates are just gonna go up significantly. So it doesn't sound very big, but in reality it would be very big.
Yeah.
New summoning familiars with tier 3 meat.
I don't want to talk about summoning. 120 summoning. As soon as possible.
120 all skills.
120 all skills ASAP.
Alright. Penguin asks, as true trimmers, are any of you looking forward to potential things coming out like Ripper Demon Pet PVM Clue titles? Yes.
Do you want me to answer?
That's my answer.
So, yes, I think Nipper Demon will be okay. I would like to see the elite Ripper Demons have a better chance, like, you know, the Eddies do. While we're at it, Fellstock Incense should be buffed, but anyway. The PVM title I'm sort of excited for, which I think we're talking about gold AOD title for having all the chests. So my issue with that is they picked having one chest and all the other drops for a reason, and that's because 38 to 41k kills on average, you know, within a normal distribution is a lot of AOD. It is like getting 5.4 billion in terms of time. If they're gonna set that precedent, I don't know. There's so much they could add. Like
I'm fine with it, but obviously I'm not planning to get it. Like I like stuff like this. Like I don't think that true trims should ever be obtainable, realistically.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about it. I'm fine.
I just want more
as long as it's
shit.
applied. As long as it's applied consistently. But that's my issue. So like clue scrolls, right? Are they gonna continue to make clue scrolls faster, and then in a couple of years they'll make the gold title require all third age, all second age? I don't know. They should. That's just set a standard.
Isn't that like?
I mean, it's 66,000. It's 66,000 clues. That's not much different than 41,000 AOD kills. Hard clues and AOD kills are about the same speed.
I mean, if you're gonna add it to hard, you gotta add it to master as well. How long would master take? It would be gathering the masters. Go on, tell me how long it would take to finish the master clue log.
I don't know, like a week, Omid. Leave me alone.
It would take like... I'm pretty sure it's not possible.
Yeah, alright. Keep going. I think we're all excited to have more to do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why do soccer mums dominate the focus of updates? Also, why high tier PVM is being shoved aside for mid-level content?
Because there's more of them.
But do you think just because there's more of them, so if a game has majority, like, okay, let me go off a tangent a bit here. In a competitive game, do you think they should mainly I mean, obviously the perfect answer is balance, right? Do you think they should mainly focus on either low elo players, high elo players, or pro?
I didn't know we had elo in RS. How is that?
No, I said in like competitive multiplayer games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you think their balancing should be? Like
It
focusing?
depends how big the competitive scene is. Most times they should balance around high elo players, but if you want to
I
use
mean, the vast majority are like unranked and low ranked.
yeah,
Let's
you're
take
right.
Overwatch.
You're right.
Golden
Exactly.
down plus unranked is gonna be like a ridiculous percentage, right?
It's just well, it's pretty normally distributed around low plat in Overwatch. But that's a good example, right? So like they just rebalanced Moira because Moira was garbage at high tiers, but now she's like nigh unkillable for gold and below. But that's, I think, what you should do. As long as you are balancing regularly and making changes, you should balance based on higher elo people, because despite there being less of them, it's more aspirational, and that's what people see when they go to Twitch. That's what people see when they watch competitive gaming.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's obviously my biased
I
opinion.
mean, look at 4K Telos, right? How many people have access to 4K Telos? How many people have done it, right? But how valuable is it as a piece of content for advertising the game or getting people to play the game and getting people hyped, being like, holy shit, that guy's fucking insane. His boss is insane. I want to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got. I fucking hyped Telos
Yeah.
up this much, and Lee, you wanna add anything?
Yeah, I think high-level players should dictate where the direction of the game is going. They have the most experience. Like, they bring in the most players that like watch them on social media.
Yeah.
They have the biggest platform.
I feel like, I mean, this is my perception, is that whenever a high-level player says, I think this is good for the game, a JMod looks at that and says, you're only saying that for your own benefit. Like, that's what I feel every time.
Yeah.
I feel like they think that we're only like selfishly suggesting these things because we want to.
L33
Fuck's sake, I forgot.
For ourselves. Yeah.
Wait. Someone, one sec. Sorry, I got distracted.
What is so important, Omid,
Okay, wait.
that is distracting you from this podcast?
I forgot to turn an alert off. Just can you carry it for a second?
Yeah, sure. So we were talking about like Telos in particular, how it's more aspirational. The point was made that it's very difficult, however, for the average viewer to even tell what's going on in a 4K Telos stream. However, practice might not make perfect, but it definitely brings you closer to being able to understand what's going on. And the counter to this is we have to keep new players for them to become these PVM gods. So it takes a certain type of person like Lee who gets in hardcore to the game and just wants to take in everything. I'd say most viewers are more casual than that. So it's tough for Jagex to balance between making a lot of hard content that is good advertising and then making content for new players to keep them interested for the hundreds of hours until they can do Telos.
Yeah. What do you think, Lee? Like, what?
Sorry, what was this question?
The question is basically, why do you think JX, or what most people's perception is, that JX prioritizes the feedback and the opinions of more casual players compared? Why do everything high level players say gets shunned? Well, that's what it feels like. I mean, so some people would make the example of like the quality of life updates Shawnee and ModPie have done over the years, but most of those things they're not obligated to do that. It's not like directed by JX. Yes, it's approved, but it's not. They're essentially not getting paid. They're not getting paid to do that, right? I might be wrong, but I mean, ModPie has said several times that he's just like, this is my lunch break work. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So
That's a little shame.
Yeah, it is a shit. But so Lee, do you think a new player is worth more or a veteran is worth more?
I think a veteran is worth more, and we should work on keeping the veterans more than bringing on new players. Because if we keep our players, they will recruit other if they're happy.
Yeah, I mean, like, how did everyone play RuneScape for the first time? Most people will say, my friends told me about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you gain new players, you grow your game by making existing players happy. That's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I try to give feedback on updates, I try to be really unbiased, and I'm always willing for people to criticize me if I am being biased, or if they disagree with me. Like, I always invite people to discuss and argue points, you know, as long as people don't go, your idea's shit, and that's their response, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. Anyways,
all right, let's keep going.
Okay, so now I'll take some chat questions now. I feel like any MMO has a community split, the hardcore players and the casual players, but not every casual player is bad at the game, and not every hardcore player is good. So balancing something like that can be extremely difficult.
What does hardcore mean? I mean, there, that's the question.
I assume people probably spend a lot more time.
People who play a lot.
Yeah, that's why I assume.
Yeah. So
I mean, that wasn't really a question, was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the question.
Yeah, they're definitely right. Yeah. So somebody else made a point in chat though about a scalable mid-tier boss. So something like Telos and Arax or Mixed, where like say you kill the boss faster, you get access to a different tier of loot. Or if you perform the mechanics better, you get access to a different tier of loot, but it's not necessarily as punishing as 500% plus Telos. I think that's a good idea, is making content that bridges the gap between mid and high level, which is something they're trying to do more with like the Anachronia agility course. I think it's a step in the right direction. It's just how well they execute.
Do you guys think the mid-level is good?
You don't have enough time in the mid-level to think about it.
No, that like for example, a tier 75 range tank gun, was that necessary?
No.
Like, I think everyone here would agree that mid-level, like, I'll say it over and over again, just power creep. Just add higher tier weapons, add significantly impactful niche weapons and effects, raise skills to 120. Like, that's what I want.
You know what I think would help a lot? If they made a couple community sourced UIs that were scalable, because one of the problems is UI scalability. If you made a couple that were really good for 90% of monitors, it would be a lot easier to pull up a stream and understand what's going on for a newer player. I mean, there are a couple.
You can't share.
They're just
UIs.
not very good. You can't share UIs. You can share action bars, but you can't.
I mean, I understand the issue of like, you know, their UI might not match your UI because of your resolution.
Resolution. Like, yeah, that's what the answer's been.
Even it's fine, even considering that, I think. Like, would you guys not like that, even with resolution issues? Let's
Again, if they just picked like the top, 3 from a community voted list, that is what you would see 95% of the time. And I think that would aid in the Twitch popularity, because one of the main things about old school is you can look at it and tell what's going on. Like, you can pull up an Overwatch stream and tell what's going on because there's very little UI.
True.
RuneScape is so UI heavy.
That's every MMO,
unless you know what's going on. Well, sort of. WoW, but if you look at WoW, WoW is popular as a game, but it's not unless there's like a celebrity streaming. It's not super popular as a streamed game because there's so many custom like add-ons and macros and stuff. So I don't know. I think it doesn't help RS to be so bespoke.
I think what Gunnar was saying, that it's a lot easier to tell what's going on in Overwatch and keep up with all the ability usages and stuff compared to an MMO where there's like a fucking stack full of buffs and debuffs on you and the NPC you're against, and you have like a bar of fucking 100 abilities. one is obviously a lot harder to keep track of than the other. I think everyone would agree. Obviously, someone that's never played Overwatch before or League before. People say that about Overwatch, but I think League is the same. Once you get into the team fights in League of Legends, like Pro League of Legends, you're not going to know what the fuck is going on. You're not going to be able to keep up. It's going to look like a fucking clusterfuck to someone that's never played League before or a MOBA before.
All right, let's keep going.
You want to try picking out a question?
So there's some more in the sub podcast questions on the Discord.
Oh, is there?
So there's a question that we talked a little bit about T3 meat. Short answer, what do you want it to be used for? I would say T4 big game hunter, which is a boss.
Sorry, I did miss the questions. I have them in my pad.
Okay.
I just forgot to read them.
So I would say T4 big game hunter, but it's a PVM encounter. One of the Stegosaurus looking dudes, one of the theropods, and one of the Quetzalcoatlus pterodon looking dudes. So just the next tier, and I don't even care what they drop. Just 3 new bosses using the T3 meat.
So yeah, I would like to see a boss out of the tier 3 meat. But I'm just worried that I just don't know what would happen, honestly. Like
that would keep T1 active, T2 active, and T3 active. Because you need T1 to get T2, you need T2 to get T3, you need T3 to do the boss.
But what would happen to the prices?
They'd be insane. They'd be insane.
But what would they be? What do you
think?
2
mil. 2 mil.
I mean, I guess it depends on the boss, how long it takes.
Yeah, and it depends what it drops. It mostly depends what it drops.
Yeah. What about you? A boss as well, Lee, from the tier 3 meat?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you guys like 3 different bosses or 1 big boss?
I would prefer 1 boss. But
Same.
3.
Why 3?
I would like 3 different.
Obviously, you'd split up the development time.
Reward space.
Split up the development time for them.
Yeah, diverse mechanics. Do you want 3 bosses with 3 different sets of mechanics, or 1
you
boss?
Could have 1 boss with like
3
potentially
phases.
5 mechanics.
Yeah, I'd rather have 3 different that drop 3 different things.
Well, that 1 boss could have 5 mechanics.
You're asking what I prefer.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know, I feel like in terms of development, okay, sure. Is it about time to increase all skills max level to 120? If so, what impact do you see it having on the game, and if not, why?
You first, Omid.
Oh no, I'm getting really tired. I need like a break. You go.
Okay. Well, we're almost done anyway. So for 120 all skills, I think the best time for 120 all skills was 2014. The second best time is right now. Well, because it was a while ago. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
I think
okay.
we were.
You were
I
so
think we
specific.
were ready.
I was like,
yeah, actually January 17th, 2014. That would have been the best time for 120 all skills. But anyway, so I think they can do it in a graduated way, like they have been. Right? They added the elite skill curve. Summoning definitely needs 120, but they could do it gradually, or they could do a bunch of skills at once. I don't really care. They could do one a year.
They should do one. They should do not like 1 a year, like max.
That's
maybe
fine.
one every like 18 months. So 1.5 years.
You realize they'd finish the skills in like 2056, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
Because
just trying to gauge the timeline.
I mean, I assume I mean, I'm fine with that. What about you, Lee?
I would like something like that. For combat skills, I think that just making it go to the 120 will be too powerful for the already existing content. So it will be better to only make it scale on new things, and it's virtual on current things, because it will just kill everything.
I mean, they could
make it.
They could make it 120 combats, but it doesn't actually. You're still 99 of those stats, but it allows you to equip higher tier weapons, like tier 100.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
But
or something
that
like
would like, because obviously tier like what if you level 120 combats and then overload on top of that, that's a massive fucking DPS increase. It'd be
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I welcome 120s. I welcome untradable and significant benefits like herb lore for overloads and prayer for prayers, etc., etc. I want that across the board.